streak here in New York, and tonight the Cavaliers have Danny Ferry in the starting lineup along with Michael Cage. For Ferry, it is his third start. For Cage, his seventh start. And Chris Mills will play a big guard position. He's matched up with John Starks. They double up on Charles Smith, who gets it to Anthony Bonner. This is Terrell Brandon handling against Derek Harper.
You know, Mike Fratello is hoping and praying that Danny Ferry can give him a game. This is only his third start of the season.
Hot Rod Williams ties the game at 2. This is a very smart Cleveland club. You know, it hurts to say, extremely well coached. John, the assistants have just been able to rise and bring the head coach right with him. As Ferry is called for that foul. Mike Fratello, though, has done a terrific job with this team that is missing Brad Daugherty out with back surgery, Mark Price surgery on the right wrist, Gerald Wilkins ruptured right Achilles tendon, and now add to that Tyrone Hill and Bobby Phills. Last night at home they were beaten by Miami. They always have difficulty with the Miami Heat, have trouble with the matchups. Saturday night at the Meadowlands they knocked off the Nets 82-75. This Tyrone Hill, who made it to the All-Star game this season. Cleveland in that game against the Nets down by as many as 17. They held the Nets to 7 points in the third quarter. Danny Ferry for 3. And the Cavaliers take a 5-3 lead.
Oh, they will live off that perimeter game tonight. Michael Cage doesn't do much scoring inside, and Hot Rod Williams might try and keep Ewing outside as he opened the game with a long jump shot.
Harper turns it over.
AT&T long distance shooting presentation early this game. Cleveland second in the NBA in three-point shooting percentage.
And that call away from the ball. Offensive foul on Chris Mills. Cavaliers 5 and the Knicks 3, just getting started. Minute and a half gone by. Again, they doubled up on Smith. Here's the double on Ewing. Back it goes to Ewing. And rebounded by Ferry.
Nice job by Hot Rod Williams. He made Ewing take a jump shot.
Hot Rod Williams has had a all-star type season. In fact, there are many in Cleveland who felt that he should have made the all-star squad. Foul is called on Harper. It's a non-shooting foul, and Ferry will put it in play.
Hot Rod Williams has grown into a position of leadership. He's always been the quiet man of the front line in recent years, but he has emerged now as a guy who's become the heart of this team in many ways.
Ferry rebounded by Williams. Cavaliers will try to nurse as much of the 24 as possible. They are in no rush. They like to control the tempo. Shot clock is down to 7. Brandon penetrating, and it's handled by Ewing. Harper on the run. Off the ball fake, found Bonner, but Bonner too strong. He was expecting a foul and did not get the contact. And an official timeout is called. Apparently there's a problem with the clock, as you see. 18 and 7/10 seconds. Boy, that was a quick first quarter, John. Whoa.
I think we have a record here. Fortunately, the officials recognized it, so we don't have to set a new record. But we may have records the way the Cavaliers move that ball and consume as much of that shot clock as they can before they shoot the basketball. That's their goal, and that's why the scores in their games are so low. They control the game, and that wears down the defense so that you get a good shot at the basket. But it requires 5 men to be in sync. The 5 offensive players have to be thinking alike.
Actually, Mike Fratello and his Cavaliers would not mind if there were 18 and 7/10 seconds remaining in the quarter and the Cavs up 5-3. That's his type of game these days. The officials check in and out. Derek Stafford working with Joe Forte and Joe Borgia. Cleveland Cavaliers have held the opposition under 100 points, an NBA high 39 times. Fewest points allowed since the advent of the 24-second clock back in 54-55. And Cleveland is giving up only 89.3 points per game. Aside from the Knicks of 93-94, Syracuse, Fort Wayne, and Milwaukee all did it back in the 54-55 season. You know, John, when you and Danny Biasone worked out the concept of 24-second clock, I thought right on the mark. It's, you know, it's amazing that they were able to settle on the number 24. It turns out to be just right.
I knew what he was doing, Marv. And it's nice to see you came around. Took you approximately 30 years, though, to give into it.
Yeah,
you wanted the 26 seconds.
You're right.
Yeah.
No, and it had some kind of strange formula. I believe there's a problem here, guys. I believe there is a buzzer problem. You know, this could be strategy by the Czar to get a postponement. And a wise move, a timeout has been called with the Cavs up 5-3.
Closer, and the Rangers lead 2-0.
Look at these guys. Koser and Langdon on the same line, and Eddie O's a little excited. It was a good play and a good breakout. The Panthers can't trap. Florida can't trap here. See the Rangers now, it's a 3-on-2. Olczyk on the puck. Olczyk will drive to the net. The deflection is saved, but watch the puck by Moeller shifted up ice, and it went off of Niedermeyer into the net. It might be Olczyk's goal, and be careful, boys. It could be dangerous.
Oh, man.
So Florida can't trap to this point. The Rangers are being the tougher team physically and the quicker team with the skating legs. They've outshot Florida 5-1. It looks like Florida's calling a timeout. So. They have to, because the Rangers are just rolling. It's the best start they've had to a game, and it seems like weeks.
The first goal was Bessier from Graves and Larmer at 6:24.
Bessier 3-on-2. When Olczyk gave the puck up, he drove to the net. Van Beesbroek had to stop it. Now there's Moeller shooting the puck. It doesn't hit anybody but Niedermeyer. It should be an Eddie Olczyk unassisted goal. And Eddie O's got to be pretty happy about that. He's got about 20 people here in the horse racing business, good friends of his. And he should get credit. I don't think it touched anybody else. Bad luck for the Panthers, great luck for the Rangers. But the Rangers are working. When you work like this, luck happens to come over to your side of the table.
And the Rangers, who haven't...
Mike Fratello quickly advising Brandon of a break in the strategy that he just executed.
That's a quicker shot than he would like. There's Smith with the room. And rebounded by Cade.
Well, you know, Pat Riley knows his team is going to get good jump shots. And the percentages say that the Cavs are going to allow them jump shooting. So you hope the team is on if you're Pat Riley tonight, hitting their shots.
Reach-in foul. Called on Ewing. Hot Rod Williams taking it to the basket. And the contact was made, so he will go to the line. Hot Rod, one of the keys to the Cavaliers overachieving last season, taking over at center for the injured Brad Daugherty. And then he broke his hand, missed the playoffs.
One of the interesting things, I think, Marv, about the Cavs is that they are not a good shooting team, and yet their record and their play this year has been terrific. In fact, I was looking at their top 8 scorers. They have only one that shoots over 46% from the field. That's Tyrone Hill, who's not playing tonight.
Williams lost the dribble. So the ball back to the Knicks. The Knicks coming off the 122-117 win over the Rockets to make it a sweep of the 2-game season set. 122 points, a season high for the Knicks. That preceded by the home-and-home sweep of the Miami Heat. Starks for three. And handled by Bonner. Ewing. And back comes Brandon. Here's Brandon. Hopper left alone and rebounded by Mills.
Well, the Knicks are certainly getting wide open jump shots. So the gamble to protect the inside, pack it in down low below the foul line is paying off for the Cavaliers. That's where they're focusing their defense, below the foul line.
The Knicks have hit only 2 of 8 from the field. Shot clock at 5. Williams. And back comes Starks. Offensive foul on Smith. Jockeyed for position and was called for the push. A timeout is taken with 6:44 remaining in this first quarter.
I'm flabbergasted.
Which leads me to point out Al Troutwood talking with Dr. Norman Scott. The Knicks team position as Ferry buries the three, and the Cavs lead 11-5. Dr. Scott examining Charles earlier today and advised that he can practice hard the next 2 days, and then a decision will be made as to when he will be able to return. And you can hear the rumblings from the crowd. The Knicks are off to a shaky start. The Cavaliers with an 11-5 lead.
Well, if those shots were going in, Mike Fratello would be complaining about his defensive men not putting pressure on the jump shooters. They don't have to. The Knicks are missing.
Cleveland is up 13-5 off an 11-2 run. They double up on Ewing. Hopper. That's a two-pointer. Hopper had the foot on the line, and the Cavaliers now lead 13-7. But the Cavaliers have the Knicks playing their type of game. They're very happy with this tempo as Hot Rod Williams took it to the hoop. The Knicks try to run, but the Cavaliers got back.
I think Hopper missed Charles Smith as he charged down the middle in that trailer roll. Charles didn't have his hands up, though, asking for that ball, making himself a target.
Illegal defense call for the first time against Cleveland. Mike Fratello, who came up with career victory number 400 last Wednesday. He's only the 24th in NBA history to hit that plateau. Starks for three. Yes. Cavaliers with a 13-10 lead. John Starks, playing with pain, was able to play through it Sunday afternoon against the Rockets and had a good ball game. 18 points at 4 from downtown in the starting lineup tonight. On the turnover, the ball back to the Knicks.
Of course, the job for the Knicks tonight now is to try and take some of the energy of that great game on Sunday afternoon. Energy that they produced, as well as the crowd, Marv. And there's always quite a difference after you come off a game like that into the arena. It just doesn't have the same electricity, but the Knicks are starting to shoot that ball now, so that'll get the crowd going.
Ewing cuts it to a 1-point lead. And there were questions as to how the Knicks would come out Sunday following the performance and the controversy that went with it on Friday night against Miami, with illegal defense called for the first time against the Knicks. The short statement made by Pat Riley questioning the professionalism of the Knicks and not really explaining what he was getting to, and the players seemed to be stunned by it, and then there was no further explanation. And there were some strong statements by Knick players who were upset about the statement.
Well, it seemed to center on Derek Harper first for his encouragement of Charlie Ward's entrance into the game on Friday as Ewing works down low and draws the foul on that move.
Hot Rod Williams appealing on that call, and he is called for the foul, his first. And the Knicks 7-0 run by the Knicks as Ewing goes to the line. But you get the idea with the success of Sunday, and just reading through statements made the last couple of days, that the Knicks are putting it behind them. But unless there was an explanation behind closed doors, I don't think we'll hear much more about what specifically Pat Riley was talking about. We can only guess that it was the bench conduct down the stretch involving people like Harper and Bonner, who are two of the model citizens on this ball club. The fact that they were urging the crowd on with the desire to see Charlie Ward get in there in garbage time that turned into not be that, because the Heat were able to come back and made it a ball game. Brandon giving the Cavaliers a 15-12 lead.
Marv, it was also one of the very few times since Pat Riley has been coached, perhaps the only time, that the players got a chance to express their anger, and they didn't suppress it. And they had their say as Charles Smith follows that miss in very nicely. You know, it was a chance for them to say, yes, we're hurt, as Charles Smith said, as Derek Harper indicated, as Anthony Mason supported, and not get in trouble for it, you know. And now it just seems to be fading down the drain, and no one wants to talk about this awkward moment anymore.
Starks with the steal. Pass off the mark, intended for Harper, was slightly to his left. So the ball goes back to Cleveland, but first a timeout is taken with 2:57 remaining in the first.
Shot, Ewing gets inside. Beautifully done, but Charles Smith is there to make sure it goes down into the hole.
Anthony Mason checking in for the first time, hearing it from the crowd as he made his way to the scorer's table. Anthony in 33 minutes on Sunday, 5 of 8, 10 points and 10 rebounds. Tied a career high with the 7 assists against the Rockets, including that gorgeous behind the back pass on a fast break.
That was sensational. There's so much balance in his game these days. Defense, the offense, and oddly enough, as Pat Riley pointed out in his observation after the game, he said, we won that game against Houston really with the focus on the offense. The offense won it in many ways, which is not a usual happening for this team. It really depends on their defense to win games and to set the tone for the game outcome.
Cavaliers have remained the same throughout this first quarter. They lead by 1 point. Williams off the spin. Oh, good follow. Michael Cage on the box out, able to hit his first field goal, and the Cavaliers lead by 3.
Well, the defense usually should do the boxing out. In that case, the offensive man had no one in front of him, and Cage had an easy hoop.
Good defensive sequence by the Cavaliers, and then the foul call. Foul on Mills. Well, Chris Mills, usually a small forward, starting at the shooting guard. He goes 6'6", 216 pounds. In his second year out of Arizona now, he will sit down and replaced by one-time New York Knick Tony Campbell, who hears some boos from the crowd. I would say good-natured for the native of Teaneck, New Jersey.
Hopefully that wasn't any family members or friends, Marv. You know they're here for Tony.
And Ewing cuts it to a 1 point. Cleveland leads 7 points for Patrick Ewing. He's hit on 3 of 6 from the field with just under 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Ferry again open. That was a 3-point attempt, and it will be Nick Ball. The Knicks now have Starks and Harper in the backcourt. Ewing with Smith and Mason up front. John Starks is playing with that partial dislocation of the left shoulder. Sat out against Miami on Friday and then came off the bench Sunday against Houston. Here's Smith. Yes. Charles Smith with his second field goal. The Knicks take a 1-point lead.
Nice move by Charles, who suggested the drive in that initial move, made the defense bend down low, then he came back to the jumper. He's been so effective with his drive lately. He gets respect even suggesting the drive.
Here's Ferry. Knicks with a 13-4 run to take this 1-point lead. Ferry to the fadeaway. Danny Ferry with 10 points, and the Cavs lead by 1.
Danny's only been playing an average of 15 minutes a game, so it appears that he appreciates this start he got tonight.
He's had some good moments coming off the bench this season for the Cavaliers. He has provided instant offense. 45 seconds remaining in the quarter. Campbell looking to post up. Ferry was left open, and he is killing the Knicks in this first quarter. 13 points for Ferry. His season high is 17. Cavaliers 22, and the Knicks 18. 25 seconds remaining in the first. Starks for 3. And it went over the glass, so the ball back to the Cavaliers. Here's Hubert Davis replacing John Starks. Starks 1 for 4 in this opening quarter. 18 7/10 seconds to go. Now Michael Cage sitting down, and Steve Coulter, 8-year pro out of New Mexico State, who is a guy who's been around in the NBA, pick up this season by the Cavaliers, and has done a nice job. Final seconds of the quarter. Brandon able to penetrate, able to slice through, and counts out the foul. What a move by Terrell Brandon. Splitting through the Knicks. Smith called for the foul, and Brandon to the line. Down to 2 5/10 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Brandon handling that ball beautifully at 5'11", also at the body strength to get up close to that rim as he drives in. You can see that beautiful ball handling as he splits the defense. Harper and Mason couldn't deal with him, and then at the end the big men couldn't stop Brandon.
3-point play for Brandon. Cavaliers by 7. Harper. And the Knicks not able to get off a last-second shot. Pat Riley felt there was a foul on the play. Nothing called. 8-0 run by the Cavaliers to finish off this first quarter. Talked about this with Mike Fratello.
Now, Marv Albert told me to tell you that he thinks that the style of play the Cavs are playing is ruining the NBA. Your comment?
Well, I think it gets back to the source and evaluating exactly where it's coming from, and that's all we need to say.
What a put down, Marv. Ooh, did he get you?
I tell you that Mike Hay just trying to get me in trouble. That was just a private conversation that I had on a number of occasions, actually with the Czar, who doesn't disagree.
This could mar the relationship you've had for the years.
Yeah, I hope so.
That would really hurt.
I'm kind of hoping. Second quarter underway, and the Cavaliers with a 25-18 lead. Hot Rod Williams. And the outside official, Joe Borgia, with the foul. It's on Hubert Davis. What a first quarter for Danny Ferry. 13 points. 3 of 4 from downtown. As we mentioned earlier, his season high 17. Scored 17 against the Suns back in late January. His career high only 21. Did it a couple of times against the Knicks, against Portland. And he had 13 in the first quarter.
In the prior 2 games against the Knicks this year, Ferry got very little time. 9 minutes in the game in December and 8 minutes in the game in January. So he has been a non-factor against New York this season till now.
Cavaliers 26 and the Knicks 18, and you sense the crowd becoming restless. Ewing to the fadeaway. 9 points for Ewing. The Knicks are now 9 for 19 from the field. Opening minutes, second quarter. Marv Albert with John Andres, Al Troutwood. Walt Clyde Frazier will join us at halftime with a foul called away from the ball. Hubert Davis called for his second. And here's Greg Anthony checking in, replacing Derek Harper, who leads with a field goal for 2. Greg Anthony shooting well as of late. 3 of 6, 10 points against Houston on Sunday. Friday, 19 points. Pat Riley saying he actually may use Anthony at times as the shooting guard alongside Derek Harper.
Although right now he is the point guard with Hubert out there, but that is so compliment to Greg Anthony.
Nice move by Ewing. 11 for Patrick Ewing. The Knicks are down by 4. This is Steve Coulter with the ball, guarded by Anthony. Campbell being played by Davis. Nice feed for Williams. It counts, and the foul.
Hot Rod Williams, not the classic post-up man at 6'11", but the problems he creates are significant. A Perry Ellis look now. The middle is open for the Cavaliers. Then the penetrating move by the guard. The attention the guard draws opens up Williams, who comes charging in and finishes. At 6'11", when he's on the move, he's very tough, even for Ewing to deal with.
Foul was called on Ewing, his second, and he will be replaced by Herb Williams. Patrick Ewing, 5 out of 8 from the field. Only 1 of 4 from the line. Sits down with 11 points. And Greg Dreiling checks in for the Cavaliers, coming on for Michael Cage. Cavaliers 29 and the Knicks 22. Anthony blowing by Coulter, setting up Davis. Rebounded by Williams. Coulter and Campbell are the guards. Dreiling, Williams, and Ferry up front.
When you don't see the Knicks getting offensive rebounding after missed shots, that means the Cavaliers are doing a good job boxing out.
Ferry again. 3-pointer for Danny Ferry. That's his 4th from downtown. Trying to get the idea the crowd not accepting the scoring of Ferry particularly well.
Well, also, I don't get the feeling that the Knicks are either, because they're not putting enough pressure on him.
16 for Ferry. Oh, beautiful spin, but Dreiling over to make the block. Mason with the head fake got by Ferry, but Dreiling was able to swat it aside. Cavaliers lead by 10 with 2.5 gone by in the second quarter. Illegal defense for the second time against the Knicks.
See, if you're Charles Smith now, you've got to think about this situation. Ferry has come out of nowhere. He's bombing jump shots. So what do you do to deal with it? You get up real close to him and make him do something different. Make him put the ball on the floor. Let him show you a move dribbling the ball.
And it's Danny Ferry hitting the technical.
And when he goes by you, you say, help me, teammates. But you got to make him do something different.
Cleveland by 11. It is the biggest lead of the game, and a 20-second timeout taken by the Knicks. 9:23.
Was working his man Belanger, and Mellamy's the only real physical player out there. He tries to stick up for his guys. The 2 defensemen stayed out. So with 29.9 to go, the faceoff being a Rangers zone. It's a quick shot here. Richter took away the bottom of the net. Belanger actually fanned on it, and it just slithered into the goaltender. See, the Rangers get caught up high on one side of the ice. So now it's a 2-on-1, and there's the second shot. Bukaboom will arrive late and take care of Belanger. And you see Bukaboom there, Sam. It was kind of a polite shove on Belanger, knowing that he's already taken a penalty to put his team 2 men down. He doesn't want to do that again. He wants to be careful.
Former first-round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Jesse Belanger. 29.9 seconds remaining in the first period. Niedermeyer and Messier for the face-off. Niedermeyer with Lowry and Kudelski, Murphy and Woolley. Now for Florida's power play, a false start. Following the first period, Brian Scrudland will join us live in our studio. We'll talk a bit about his play. And going against Mark Messier. Bob Page is at the sports desk.
Well, no, and shot the ball very well, and only got 19 minutes in the game of playing time, but he was an important part of the success, I thought, in that the Knicks got off so quickly, shooting the ball well.
And the Knicks at the line, 1 for their first 6. Yes, Hubert played 19 minutes, 3 of 5, 8 points. Did a good job, and then Starks came on, and he was hitting from downtown. The Knicks trail by 11. Here's Campbell. Rebounded by Smith. Cavaliers with a 16-4 run going. Anthony way off.
See, those are the kind of shots that shake you up when you're in the Greg Anthony camp. He's shooting the ball well, Then he gets a kind of a simple jump shot without a lot of pressure on him, and he misses badly.
Both clubs having their difficulties now. Cavaliers 33 and the Knicks 22. Ferry off the pick, and Smith right with him now. Beautiful lead for Coulter. Danny Ferry delivering on the hop, and the Cavaliers lead 35-22.
Like Greg Anthony got caught with his back to the passer. A very embarrassing play for the Knicks. Nicely executed, however, by the Cavs.
9 unanswered, 18-4 run by the Cavaliers.
It was the best first day.
Pat Riley, though, in the huddle, very cool, calm, and collected, getting his message across to the team. A lot of times, Pat will kneel there in front of the team and actually not say much. Just let them kind of gather their themselves. Being very clinical now, as you can see. But I have to believe he's not happy with what's going on now. His team is being made to look bad, and the Knicks aren't shooting the ball well at all. 43% so far in the first half from the field.
Cleveland outscoring the Knicks here in the second quarter, 10-4. 18-4 run by the Cavaliers, and they've scored the last 9 points.
3 seconds over here.
Herb Williams. And run down by Danny Ferry, who has had a magnificent first half. 17 points for Ferry. He's at 4 of 5 from downtown. And you see the Cavaliers have had the advantage off the boards. Here's Ferry. Rare miss for Ferry.
This is a Charles Oakley type game because the Knicks are missing and they're not getting offensive rebounding, where Charles excels.
Knicks turn it over. We're able to present many views of the new look by Charles in his sport jacket tonight.
Charles is hurting eyes of people tonight.
Hey, come on, John.
There's Charles. Ouch. I just looked at him.
Very subjective, though.
No, it isn't. It hurts. It hurts looking at Charles.
Very bottled up, able to recover. Here's Campbell. It counts, and the foul. And the Cavaliers now lead 37-22. Chris Mills checking back in, replacing Danny Ferry.
Well, that ball inside, I mean, no obstruction to Tony Campbell. Nothing. The pass just gets in so easily. Knicks putting a lot of pressure on Ferry. Everything's happening too slow below the foul line for the Knicks on defense. The arms aren't waving. There's not enough communication out there, and it doesn't have to be verbal as it was Sunday. Danny Ferry getting a blow now. What a terrific first half. But Marv, that was outstanding Sunday. I thought the way the Knicks covered up Olajuwon together, I mean, he couldn't get a free moment. Nobody could get free beneath the foul line on Houston on Sunday because the Knicks were communicating and helping and switching so quickly. Nothing like that is happening tonight thus far.
And also, I thought Patrick Ewing came out more aggressive, particularly offensively, against Olajuwon than we've seen in the past.
Also, Marv, he was contesting shots like we haven't seen him contest much this year. He put a great effort forth on Sunday. Now, the Knicks have to get into contesting shots like the Cavaliers have been doing.
The Knicks have not scored in the last 4 minutes. Here's Anthony for 3. Rebound Mason. And he's fouled. Anthony Mason will go to the line. Foul committed by Campbell.
A rare offensive rebound for the Knicks here in the first half.
Anthony Mason has been struggling at the free throw lines. Remember the 2 air balls in the game in Miami last Thursday? 62% at the line for Mason.
Boy, he has happy memories of January 6th in Cleveland. 21 points, 7 of 9 from the field, 7 of 8 from the foul line, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Knicks need that kind of play from Mason tonight.
The Knicks are now 2 for 8 at the line. Cavaliers with a 37-23 lead. Campbell off the ball fake. Campbell, it counts again, and the foul. The one-time New York Knick, Tony Campbell, who had some strong statements earlier this season to make about Pat Riley, obviously not happy about the lack of playing time. So the statements, John, may not have been fair, although Campbell, when he was here, I thought handled it extremely well. As you see Campbell operating with a move that is familiar to his former Knick teammates, but he had some statements to make comparing the coaching philosophies of Pat. This was a second go-round for Pat. He played for him in Los Angeles with the Lakers. So, you know, there's a little extra motivation because he felt he should have been playing here. Whether that's right or wrong, I'm not sure. But you know that he's psyched out for tonight.
Well, Charles Smith with the nice jump shot. Any player that doesn't feel they should be playing, Marv, I'm sure as Pat Riley would be the first to say, he doesn't want him on his team. So Tony handled his discomfort very well, and he also showed Anthony Mason one fine move a moment ago.
Well, Brandon is back on the floor, and he fires away. The Cavaliers on fire. They're shooting better than 50%. To be precise, they're now 52% from the field, and they now lead by 17 as we come up on 5 minutes remaining in the half. Harper on the back tap. Starks. Oh, what a shot by John Starks.
This has the Knick coaching staff naturally, I'm sure, thinking about that game in Detroit last week when the Knicks allowed the Pistons a very early start, and then they started shooting the ball magnificently. This pattern has developed here tonight.
Cavaliers 42 and the Knicks 27. Starks and Harper in the backcourt. Smith, Ewing, Mason up front. Nice pass. Starks on a look away for Ewing. The Cavs lead by 13. Timeout called by Cleveland. 4:12 remaining in the half. In Cleveland, Starks with 23 points, all in the second half, and a key to that 10-point victory by the Knicks.
It was a remarkable shooting performance by John. It included 5 out of 8 from three-point range, as you said, Marv, all in the second half.
Cavaliers lead 42-29. Just under 4 minutes to go in this first half. And Mills getting the roll. Chris Mills extends to a 15-point lead.
Knicks are not putting enough pressure on the shooters.
Ewing. And it's handled by Cage. Michael Cage, over the years, one of the better rebounders in the NBA. 4 years with the Clippers. Fouled in Harper. 6 with Seattle. Signed with Cleveland as an unrestricted free agent. He was the NBA's leading rebounder in the 87-88 season, and he is number 2 behind A.C. Green in terms of consecutive games among the active players. Knicks over the limit. Brandon to the line. Remember back when Cage led the league in rebounding, he edged out Charles Oakley, who was then a member of the Chicago Bulls, and he did it on the final day of the season by coming up with 30 rebounds in that game. Michael Cade saying that the Cavaliers are the most unselfish team that he's ever played on. And he's done a good job coming off the bench tonight. He's been in the starting lineup because of the additional injuries suffered by the Cavaliers. Ewing getting the step, and he is fouled. Foul on John Williams.
Nice feed by Hubert Davis, getting Ewing in motion. Ewing acknowledging the nice pass to Hubert Davis.
Ewing is 1 for 4 at the line.
Patrick has not recently been shooting his foul shots very well. In fact, you see over the last 6 games, the Knicks at 65% versus the season at 73%. But in the last 4 games, Patrick is at 57%, 19 out of 33 from the line.
And the Knicks tonight are now 4 for 10. Cleveland with a 46-31 lead on the Knicks. 3:15 remaining in the half. The Knicks with 18 points in the first quarter. And only 13 thus far here in the second. All this coming off the high-energy performance, 122 points, a season high against Houston. Williams able to get to it and beats Mills. Mills on the follow.
Hot Rod Williams took the shot and got his own rebound. That means he beat Ewing and everybody else to it. That's how you lose games, allowing things like that to happen.
Now Cage guarding Ewing. Patrick Ewing has been on target 7 for 11. He has 17 points. Cavaliers 48, the Knicks 33. 2:25 remaining in the half. Illegal defense. Third time the call has been made against the Knicks, and another technical foul. Again, it'll be Brandon to the line. He's an 82% free throw shooter.
Looking at the press guide of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Terrell Brandon said if he wasn't an NBA player when asked what he'd like to be, yes, a camp counselor.
He could be both, John.
That's right.
Does he realize that? Cavaliers with a 49-33 lead. I know there are many coaches around the NBA who feel that they are both during the course of the season.
Yes, summer camps are popular for hoopsters.
And again, a problem over at the scorer's table. Derek Stafford checking it out. That's Bobby Goldwater of the Madison Square Garden staff. Did he make a change of the computer?
I think he put something under the table.
Pulled a quickie, I think. It looked a little suspicious to me as he walked away, you know.
Now Bobby's saying, where is that computer?
Little sleight of hand there by Bob. Cavaliers with a 16-point lead. 2:23 remaining in the first half. Now Campbell posting up, goes to the spin.
What a great move.
Ewing with the drop step, stripped by Brandon. Beautiful play by Brandon. Williams for Campbell. Sensational passing while the Cavaliers are now lead 51-33.
Well, Pat Riley's not going to focus on lack of professionalism after this first half. It's more lack of good play. Knicks are sleeping on defense.
John, is there a possibility that the blackboard in the dressing room is cowering at this point?
I think there's a good chance. But I think Pat might show some versatility this time and just get direct face-to-face stuff, because it's just not happening for the Knicks. They have no intensity on defense.
Illegal defense once again. That's the 4th time, and Brandon to the line. While we are talking about blackboards and possibilities of smashing chalkboards or blackboards, it should be cleared up that Pat Riley did not put the fist through the chalkboard. It was a chair. And, you know, these are the things that should be straightened out. He did ask permission of the players as part of his motivational technique whether he could throw the chair at the blackboard. And that's exactly what he did.
And then he invited them to play harder as well.
Exactly. 24-16 rebounding edge for the Cavaliers, who are up by 19. A minute 20 remaining in this first half. A dismal half for the Knicks. Chris Mills. So Mills has 6. It's a 21-point advantage. Here's Smith off the fake, and he is fouled. Charles Smith will go to the line. So the Knicks follow up the 18-point first quarter with only 15 here in the second. Foul committed by Dreiling, and Smith to the line for the first time.
Unfortunately, Marv, the recent speech by Pat Riley about the Knicks' effort and lack thereof on occasion applies again at halftime for him tonight. I mean, Pat made the point, referring to last year, sometime when you get to the finals, to the 7th game in a championship series, you think you're good enough to get back there next year. He said, we have forgotten how hard it was to get there. We can't make any assumptions that we're good enough to get to the NBA Finals again. And that's the point he's been trying to make to his team very recently, as of a day or two ago. And here the Knicks are coming out tonight and allowing this to happen to them in the first half. It relates to their effort and their execution.
Cavaliers have outscored the Knicks in the second quarter 29-17. That's an inadvertent horn, I believe. Players are knowing the problems at the scorer's table, not paying attention, and now the officials walking over. Are we watching the Philadelphia crew here at Madison Square Garden, John? And I know there's an equipment problem too, but this is about the worst that we have seen it.
Yes, it is. It's repeating over and over again, and it's slowing the game down, playing into this man's hands. Anything to upset, you know, it seems to be the formula for the success of Mike Fratello and his team.
Are you saying that he's kind of an annoying guy? Is that what the point is?
You could say that, yes, to the opposition. I think the immediate family feels very good about him.
We are down to 41 seconds remaining in the half. The Cavaliers with a 54-35 lead on the Knicks. Woody Allen trying to help out Bobby Goldwater. Bobby to the right, Woody to the left, with perhaps a suggestion. Woody does not appear to be upset, though.
I've never seen Woody smile at a Knick game until now. All these years. That young man is proud as a peacock, that Fratello boy.
Now there's a major problem on the scoreboard. The Knicks do not appear on the board. He'll straighten it out. Bill Murray giving us the very European look here tonight. Cavaliers with a 54-35 lead as we resume with just under 50 seconds remaining first half. 10 on the shot clock. Brandon for 3. And apparently these delays have not affected the Cavaliers. Well, where are the Knicks, John? I see the Cavaliers listed.
As they say, Marv, they're off the board.
Yes. And Hoffer hitting a rare field goal for the Knicks. Down to 25 seconds in the half. 20-point lead for Cleveland.
Come back,
10 on the 24. Nice pass again. Cage with the bucket and the foul. Beautiful look by Mills, and Cage will go to the line.
The passing by the Cavaliers inside the foul line has been outstanding. One cutter goes by, the second cutter comes in. Cage, good timing on the cut by the Cavaliers. Nice look inside by Mills at 6'6". Mills, very difficult in the matchup with Harper. He's got more height. And the Cavaliers are striking at the heart of the Knicks beautifully, looking for mismatches. And when they're there, the height differences favor the Cavaliers. Those people are getting the ball, either to shoot or to pass.
Foul on Smith, his third. And the Cavaliers now lead 60-37. It's their biggest lead of the game. Down to 5 seconds. Smith coming up short on that three-point attempt. And that will do it. The Cleveland Cavaliers with an amazing performance in this first half. And you can hear the reaction from the crowd. This is the worst it's been at Madison Square Garden. And to make matters worse, the horn will not stop, John.
Stay tuned for a second half.
The Cavaliers by 23. In a moment, Bob Page at the MSG Sports Desk.
I'm going camping this weekend, and I love it.
I hate camping. I want to sleep on dirt. I wouldn't vacuum.
Fresh air, birds, trees.
Snakes, bears, poison ivy.
It's funny how two people can look at the same thing differently.
You stand in the clean, clear water and catch your own dinner.
Well, you stand in the freezing cold water and catch pneumonia.
To some, this is a great tasting imported beer. And to others, it's a great tasting light beer. Either way, it's Amstel Light.
It's beautiful. You're out there in the middle of nowhere.
It stinks. You're out there in the middle of nowhere.
These days, people who really understand money carry the Discover Card. That's because the Discover Card Cashback Bonus Award is just that, cash. Everyone can use more cash, and there's no annual fee. That's why the Discover Card is the choice of people who really know the drill. It pays to discover, accepted wherever you see the Novus Network sign.
Dear foreign car owners, when it comes to fixing brakes, foreign cars aren't foreign to Midas. That's why we offer same-day brake service and guaranteed brake shoes and pads for as long as you own your car.
そして今あなたがお持ちの国産車外車をマイダスへお持ちいただくと
Get 25% off guaranteed brake shoes and pads. That's 25% off brake shoes and pads for any car at the Midas International Brake Sale.
Vilket språk man än talar, detta är ett erbjudande värt att bromsa för.
The car on the right was filled with Castrol Syntec, a full synthetic oil, the other with conventional oil. They were then drained and started without oil to prove a point. You see, Syntec has a unique molecular structure that bonds to engine parts. Lab tests show it leaves a layer of protection far stronger than conventional oil. And if Syntec protects this well now, imagine if you leave it in. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't. Now, buy a case of Castrol Syntec and get an officially licensed NBA ball.
We don't have time to show you all the reasons to take Amtrak's Metroliner to Washington. So for now, here are 17 of them. More departures every business day. Metroliner, the smarter shuttle.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
You could win 50 games with the players the Cavaliers are playing without tonight at Madison Square Garden, but you'd never know it as they lead at halftime 60-37. Al Troutwick back with you, and Clyde Frazier will join me. I wanted to take a moment to talk about all the things that have gone right for the Knicks in the first half. Let's go to Bob Page.
Thanks, Al. Interesting to find out what Pat Riley is saying to these guys in the locker room at halftime after everything that's happened of late. NBA trade deadline Thursday, so is this Scottie Pippen's last game as a Chicago Bull tonight? The Bulls playing at Atlanta, leading the Hawks by 14. Atlanta is going without Craig Elo. He has a sprained ankle. First quarter, B.J. Armstrong up court to Tony Kukoc for the dunk. 25-21, the Bulls gave Phil Jackson that lead going into the second quarter. Kukoc has 16 points. Now Luke Longley feeds Pippen for a beautiful hoop here, 34-30. Chicago won a 15-6 run. Pippen has just 7 points. Ex-net Mookie Blaylock leads Atlanta with 12 so far. Danny Ainge says he is going to appeal the one-game suspension and fine that cost him a total of $35,000 for punching ex-net Chris Dudley in a recent game. He claims it was self-defense, of course. Besides, Ainge says he has had 4 NBA bouts now and is just 1-2-1. He says he lost to Tree Rollins and Sedale Threed in previous encounters. He tied Darrell Walker. And Ainge claims he won this one against the 6'11 Dudley because Dudley was knocked down. Now, Ainge's close buddy, Charles Barkley, promptly called him on this line of BS and said that Dudley was on the court there to begin with. Said Barkley, tongue-in-cheek as usual, and I quote, "Danny Ainge needs to retire from boxing and basketball. Ainge can't bust a grape anymore, so I don't know why he keeps getting involved in these things." College basketball tonight. How about this one from the Hartford Civic Center? Connecticut losing to Boston College with about 2 minutes to go in the first half, 35-30. Carrierdome, Syracuse beating Pittsburgh handily, that one at halftime. And the NFL recently fired Raiders head coach Art Shell will join the Kansas City Chiefs as offensive line coach. I'll have more right after this.
Sports Desk is brought to you by Alamo. There are over 4 million miles of road in Alamo territory.
And 3 at the half. And the scoring summary is brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. Eagle, test drive an Eagle at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer or call 1-800-2-TEST-EAGLE. Started off with the Cavaliers, who are playing good, solid, fundamental, good passing basketball. And Danny Ferry's been hot, 17 points in the first half. Terrell Brandon's been a pest for the Knicks, driving the lane, scoring 14. Williams with 9. Tony Campbell, the ex-Knick, with 7. Chris Mills with 6. The story for the Knicks is pretty much Patrick Ewing and little else. Ewing 7 of 11 from the floor with 3 rebounds and 17 points. After that, it is single digits of frustration for the Knicks. Al Trawick rejoined by Walt Clyde Frazier. And you're the big pro. You're the All-Star Hall of Famer. You make some sense out of this.
Well, the Knicks lacking continuity, spontaneity, lackadaisical as well. The crowd venting their venom on the Knicks because of their ineptitude.
Yeah, the boos were cascading down from here at the Garden crowd as the Knicks exited the floor. It leads us to a parade of Cavalier highlights. Danny Ferry with 17 points, Clyde.
And they're giving them Cavalier treatment, especially from downtown. So his career high is only 21. He's headed that way tonight.
And as John Andre said, he's filling in for an all-star playing like one, Terrell Brandon.
And this play indicative of the lack of Knick tenacity on the defense, allowing Brandon to penetrate off the right side.
And even Tony Campbell's got some moves.
This was a good defensive effort, but Knicks suffering from Murphy's Law. Campbell comes up a very acrobatic move off the glass.
And what you're seeing here is a lot of invisible defensive coverage. Here's Hot Rod Williams.
All but one of these hoops came in the paint area. Only the three-pointer by Ferry was from the perimeter. So the Knicks been exploited on the interior.
And Clyde, we always are faced with this division of loyalty when the Knicks play the Cavaliers. I would imagine if there's any Cavalier pride inside, it's showing for you.
Yeah, I think so. This doesn't surprise me that the Knicks are playing this way, but
you can't have any Cavalier pride in you. Now, come on.
No, it was. No, I'm a Knick all the way. You know that. But I think the Knicks have made a very difficult choice now to try to come back. The Cavs, a very smart team. Methodically, they work the clock, so it's going to be very difficult for the Knicks to get back in this game.
Now, if they don't come back and don't win it, this is going to be a loss that the Knicks will regret for quite some time. Be good on the radio. Marvin John with the second half on MSG in a moment. Underway, and the Cavaliers with a 60-37 lead. Mills posting up Starks. Mills on the rebound. And the Cavaliers now lead 62-37.
Another one of those costly matchups. Mills at 6'6", Starks at 6'3".
It is amazing because the Cavaliers, along with their usual assortment of injuries with Dougherty out, Wilkins out, Price sideline. Here's Ewing, called for steps. Aside from the loss of 3 key guys, are without Tyrone Hill because of a finger injury, and Bobby Phills with a sprained right shoulder, but they've made the matchups work in their favor. Danny Ferry went out, had an explosive first half, and Chris Mills has been very tough to handle. And here's Mills trying to post up against Harper. Williams. The Cavaliers lead 64-37. For the Knicks, it does not get any worse than this.
The thing about the rebounding situation, too, which had to make Pat Riley crazy at halftime, is that Tyrone Hill on the bench in street clothes is the 4th leading rebounder in the NBA. He's not even here tonight for Cleveland, and they still beat the Knicks badly on the boards in the first half.
Starks with the fake, and then came up short. And here come the Cavaliers. Brandon Mills in the backcourt. Mills at the big guard. Williams with Ferry and Cage up front. Mills feeling for Starks. And this time called for the offensive foul. That's 3 on Mills.
Knicks have such a long way to go. The Cavaliers not only lead the league in defense and points allowed, they have a technical foul called against Chris Mills. He thought his offensive move resulted in a defensive foul. Starks with that little push off. Mills gets the call against him, and if I were Mills, I would agree. But the official sees things sometimes differently than the camera does also.
Charles Smith converting the technical. Cavaliers trying to calm down their teammate Chris Mills.
The main point, though, Marv, is that the Cavaliers, the low-scoring Cavaliers, the lowest, I should say, scoring team in the NBA. We've been talking about their defense. They're the lowest scoring team in the NBA. 91 a game, had 60 in the first half. The Knicks find an opening finally underneath. That was Bonner from Starks.
Cleveland with a 64-40 lead. And the crowd trying to get things going off that slam by Bonner. Here's Ferry. And Starks gets to it. Starks on the drive. And Brandon walks it up. So the Cavaliers slow it down. Play is called out by Mike Fratello. And Brandon hit on a reach-in by Harper. That's 3 on Derek Harper. Cleveland Cavaliers with a record of 31-20. They're only a game and a half behind the leaders in the Central Division, the Charlotte Hornets. They lost last night at home to Miami, but they have won 3 of their last 4. Hot Rod Williams. Offensive foul. And for Williams, his third.
Hot Rod at 6'11", very mobile guy, right to the basket, but ball goes against him with the offensive foul.
The Knicks are down by 24. Open shot for Harper. And a loose ball foul against the Cavaliers. Foul on Ferry, that is his second non-shooting foul, and Smith will put it in play. For the Knicks, it is game 3 of a 5-game homestand, coming off the very impressive performance against the Rockets. Harper having difficulties offensively, and he's upset with himself. Foul on Cage. And Ewing to the line.
Well, after that very impressive performance by the Knicks on Sunday afternoon rather, the talk then built once again about catching Orlando. Orlando had a shocking loss last week to Minnesota. The feeling is that they're not perfect. Now the Knicks look so strong against Houston, beating them for the second time in their only 2 meetings this year. And the talk then built around, let's catch Orlando type thinking. And Pat Riley's team comes out tonight with this very, very poor first half, and then it's just such a mental setback. Now the Knicks have to generate enthusiasm and good play, and boy, do they have a long way to go to catch up to the Cavs.
22-point lead for Cleveland. Ferry. Rebound Ewing. Starks on the run. Played by Brandon, did not allow the shot. Harper now 2 for 7. And Bonner called for the loose ball foul, so the ball goes back to the Cavaliers.
You know, so much of the problems for the Knicks tonight is very basic, like the Vince Lombardi theory of blocking and tackling. Well, you could say shooting and rebounding are the things that the team has to do to succeed, and that's what Cleveland has done and the Knicks have not done.
Going back to the deep philosophies of the one-time Fordham Ram. Mills on the drive. I know that's the way you think of Vince Lombardi. Forget about the Packers.
It's true, Marv. But the basics of the sport are really what's called for here. The Knicks showing some signs now, in and out with some good sequences. They have to be near perfect now the rest of the way.
21 points for Patrick Ewing. Cavaliers lead by 22. Mills starts with Brandon back to cut him off. Go! Smith. Charles Smith not able to follow up the fine performance the other day. This time he draws the foul. And he'll go to the line. But a timeout has been taken. When we come back, it will be Smith shooting a pair. The Knicks trailing by 22 points.
Is that Johnson's team behind us?
Exactly.
Are they members of Hertz #1 Club Gold?
Exactly.
Are we members of Hertz #1? Not exactly.
So thanks to Hertz, they're going to get to the meeting on time.
And we'll be late?
So exactly what'll I tell the boss?
In rent-a-car, there's Hertz, and there's not exactly. Make sure you choose the right one.
And then a dog in the cargo hold $8 presentation.
Is he buying it?
Not exactly. We're in show business. We're having fun. We're ringmasters in one of the greatest circuses of all time. Wow, that's great. California has a very special meaning around the world. It's about freedom. It's about choices. How about a pizza with potato on it? Peking duck. Thai chicken. We have watched where businesses have limited ways in which the customer pays. And when our customer reaches for an American Express card, we gladly accept it.
American Express is welcome to wherever fresh ideas are cooking. So dine out, America.
Announcing Pontiac's Triple Value Days. Lisa Grand Am, GM's best-selling car for only $169 a month. Loaded with AC, airbag, automatic, anti-lock brakes, power steering, and door locks. Your present car might even cover the down payment.
Lisa Grand Prix for only $209 a month with AC, airbags, automatic, anti-lock brakes, power steering, and door locks.
You can even lease a Bonneville for only $239 a month. Loaded with AC, airbags, automatic, anti-lock brakes, power steering, and door locks.
Pontiac Triple Value Days. And you thought Christmas was in December.
Junior Knick fans, you can now become a member of the Knicks Fan Club presented by Modell Sporting Goods. Each member gets terrific team merchandise, an official membership certificate, and a badge, plus the Out of Bounds newsletter 4 times a year. For an application, call 201-784-9600.
.653 remaining. In the third, it's the Cavaliers 66 and the Knicks 44. Charles Smith to the line. He is 3 for 3 at the line. The Knicks 9 of 15 at the foul line. The Knicks with 18 points in the first quarter, 19 in the second.
And they were outscored 35-19 in the second.
21-point lead by the Cavaliers. Patrick Ewing has shot well, 8 of 12, but the rest of the Knicks 9 for 30 from the floor. Brandon for Williams, open shot. That's the result of the double team. Knicks not able to get back.
They had 3 men on Brandon, and Williams was all alone.
68-45 Cleveland. Tony Campbell is back in, played well in the first half. Hoffer for 3. Well, Derek Hoffer has to hope that will get him going, and Derek continues the streak. He's hit at least 1 3-point field goal, now 27 straight games. Hit 2 against the Rockets on Sunday. 20-point lead for Cleveland. Williams, Hot Rod Williams, who has the nice outside touch. He's had an outstanding game. 15 points, 8 rebounds, and apparently something upset Pat Riley as he calls that 22nd timeout.
Well, one of the many things that has to upset Pat is that the shooters are not being contested on Cleveland. Jump shots are going up without a hand in the face, without pressure on the shooter. That's the difference in good defense and mediocre or not good defense. And the Knicks just have not done it tonight, as the Cavaliers have moved the ball beautifully and found their open man, and there's just no pressure on the shooters, or not enough pressure to disturb them.
5:52 remaining in the third. The Cavaliers with a 70-48 lead.
Anybody who sat here Sunday and watched the intensity and the fervor with which the Knicks played against Houston, and then came and sat in their seats and watched this tonight, they'd have a big question. Why? Why? And that's, you know, what Pat Riley and his coaching staff must be thinking.
Ewing through the foul. And Ewing will go to the line. It's on Campbell, his second for the Cavaliers, their 4th team foul.
Most teams will double team Patrick Ewing when he puts the ball on the floor. The difference in successful teams that execute that defense and not successful teams is the speed with which the double team comes and when it comes. And that's why the Cavaliers are a very good defensive team. Their timing on the double team is excellent. They get there quickly.
Cavaliers lead by 20. And here's some pressure shown by the Knicks. Cage. It counts, and the foul. Cavaliers handling that pressure.
Stunning the Knicks. Dallas and Washington.
By their center, John Williams.
Still moving up ice. Turnover. All of a sudden, boom, back goes the other team. And Boom stood up, as you see there, on Mellenby, but it gives the other team a chance to counter and make a rush. Actually, the Rangers countered themselves defensively pretty well after turning the puck over.
Great shot. Mike Richter, his record belies the way he's played this season. He's 1 game under 500. He has played extremely well.
He's 500, 2 wins, 2 losses lifetime against the Panthers.
Noonan tips it in. 32 seconds remaining in the period. Jason Woolley is there. Toronto native, 25 years old. Jason Woolley.
Very nice.
Smith with the pick. Smith with the shot. Nice baseline pick and roll by Charles Smith, executed by John Starks. 19-point lead. And the Knicks go to the pressure. And a chant of defense for the first time tonight.
Well, the crowd is sensing the intensity level by the Knicks picking up.
Ferry for 3. Danny Ferry with 20 points, and he has hit 5 of 7 from downtown.
And that is a season high, and he had some pressure on him by Bonner on that shot.
Illegal defense called on the Cavaliers. So that's a technical foul. The second violation by Cleveland. Anthony Mason replacing Charles Smith, who departs with 12 points. John Starks will shoot the technical, his first appearance at the line. Cavaliers 76 and the Knicks 55. 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the third. Hopper and Starks at the guards. Ewing, Bonner, Mason now up front. Cage doing a good job in fronting Ewing. Here's Starks. Well, Ewing came out and set a pick. And Starks went to the basket. Cavaliers 76, the Knicks 57. Again, the trap on Brandon.
Boy, something the Knicks haven't employed in the Pat Riley days that much.
Ferry was left open. Ewing with the rebound. Knicks have a 3-on-2, a rarity. Starks for 3, yes. And Mike Fratello wants to talk it over. First signs of a rally by the Knicks.
The Knicks are back, and so is Mike Francesa, along with Kathleen Murphy and some of the biggest stars in sports and showbiz on Live from the Play-by-Play right here on NSG.
Hi, at Paul Conte Cadillac, we want to give you the diamond treatment. It's our way of expressing our appreciation, and it's very special treatment indeed.
It starts with great deals on the Cadillac you want, like our lease on a sedan DeVille, only $479 a month for 24 months with scheduled maintenance.
Our diamond treatment ensures you get first-class value.
And Jerry Krause. He said, when you get an offer that you think will help this team, you can go ahead and trade Pippen. Now, Jerry Krause has very thick skin. He's a tireless worker, and he's not about to knock down a player who he is trying to trade.
I feel very strongly that he's a quality person. I do not have a problem with him as a person. He has to do what he feels is right. We have to do what we feel is right as a franchise. The only player in this franchise history that couldn't be traded was Michael Jordan. There's nobody else here that can't be traded if the right offer is made.
A trade might be good for the Bulls, might be good for Pippen, but it could be a PR disaster for Jerry Krause. Are you prepared to handle it?
If I worried about those kind of things, I wouldn't be sitting here, and I wouldn't be worthy of sitting here. Because when you sit here, you got to have tough skin. This is not an easy job, and it's one that you have to understand that sometimes your personal situation may not be you may not be loved, and it's sometimes you get criticized if you don't do something, and you get criticized if you do something. So you know it's going to come either way, and that's part of the thing that I have to live with.
What is the absolute minimum you would take for Scottie Pippen? What would it take?
Well, I think that's something that stays confidential. That stays between the teams that talk to me. I think, again, and that maybe that's one of the reasons why sometimes you guys have problems with me, but I think that has to remain confidential. I think that's something that is being discussed and will be discussed between the teams involved.
As we get closer to...
Aggressive call for his third. John Starks has scored the last 6 points. 10-3 run by the Knicks. They were down by as many as 27. They were trailing 64-37 early in the third. They've outscored the Cavaliers 23-12 here in the third quarter, so they've knocked it down to a 16-point lead with 3:20 remaining. Third quarter. Terrell Brandon with 16, and the Cavaliers lead 78-60. Hopper and Starks in the backcourt. Ewing, Bonner, Mason on the front line. Nice pass for Ewing. Work it right back out. Hopper for 3. Rebound slapped by Ewing, but out of bounds.
Very frustrating play there because the Knicks had the ball inside and none of the big men chose to take it to the hoop.
Again, they try to trap Brandon. This time they began deeper. Mills handles the ball well, gets it across. Just did get it over the timeline. Here's Cage popping it back out. The steal by Starks. Flying down, beats Mills to hit.
Great play by Starks. What a finish.
16-point Cleveland lead. 2:20 remaining in the third. Starks now looking for the steal. The big guard, Mills, handling the ball. The Knick defense tightening up. Shot clock at 2. 1. Williams got it off. Rebound Mason. Mason for Bonner. And his pass picked off. Brandon with Campbell. Campbell with a nice fake. And the Cavaliers lead 80-62.
Bonner is so reluctant to participate in the offense, and that really hurt.
Minute and a half remaining in the third. Bad pass by Harper. May have been miscommunication between Harper and Starks. Cavaliers 54% tonight. As you see, they shoot 44 for the season. Brandon hit on a reach-in by Harper, and that is his 4th foul.
Feels like.
Terrell Brandon, a good free throw shooter, will go to the line. Harper will sit down. Here comes Greg Anthony.
Marv, you mentioned the low percentage from the field by the Cavs, 44%. Minnesota, same thing, 44%. The Clippers, 44%. New Jersey Nets, a shade under 44%. And to see them shooting the way they are tonight shows you that back hurts. Although it has arrived, the defensive intensity is there now, but the turnovers the last couple of minutes have hurt the Knicks, but they seem to be coming back strong now.
Cavaliers 81 and the Knicks 62 as we come up on 1 minute to go in the third. Anthony just did save it. Ewing from Bonner. 17-point Cleveland lead. Campbell given the open shot. Tony Campbell has come back to hurt the Knicks. He has 11, and it's a 19-point lead.
One of the special qualities of the Cavaliers is it seems all of the people on the floor for them can handle the basketball well and make good decisions with the ball.
Starks, yes. Cavaliers 83, and the Knicks 66. Starks has hit his last 4 shots, 10 points in the quarter. A quarter that is rolling down. 20 seconds to go in the third. Shot clock at 2. Offensive foul. And that is number 4 on Mills. Rick Reiling comes on for Hot Rod Williams. The Knicks take over with 9 and 8/10 seconds to go in the third. Hubert Davis checking back in. And Steve Coulter comes on for the Cavaliers. Anthony, played by Brandon. Down to 3 seconds. Anthony able to shake loose. It hits, but it won't count. Offensive interference. Ewing obviously did not mean to grab out of the rim. He was trying to get his balance, but it cost the field goal.
Well, it's very hard to criticize such effort. By the same token, Patrick should know better.
Yo, I got flavor. Let's go, baby, swing it. Yo. See me with the rock. Kick the rock. Hit me off.
Just a reminder,
Corner.
if you're talking basketball, Foot Locker speaks your language.
At the top, come on, meet me at the top.
Well, most of it. Foot Locker, where it all begins.
Good game, kid.
When you call collect, you're asking a favor. You're spending their dough. Hey, it's your family, your friends. So do them a favor and make sure they pay less. How? Know the code. 1-800-CALL-ATT. You'll always get AT&T, and it always costs less than 1-800-COLLECT. Dial it every time you make a collect call. After all, it's how you'd want them to call you.
Want a price that's always lower than 1-800-COLLECT? Know the code. Dial 1-800-CALL.
Minivan. Our regular MSG 1 service back to Miami in just a moment.
Stay tuned.
21. Hakeem not having a great shooting night. Either is David, and how about the fact in 12 minutes David has out-rebounded Hakeem?
Well, Robinson picked up his third foul at the 7:36 mark of the second quarter. His team was leading by 18 at the time. They ended up leading by 19 at halftime, so they survived very well with the Admiral on the bench. You can see the career-high 34 points. Last year, he had 32 for the Spurs, which is a franchise record, and he was one short of setting the franchise record for a half with those 19 rebounds. 59-40. The big question is, can Houston start shooting the basketball?
The main thing is to try to get it to about 9 or 10 going into that last quarter.
Team splits the defenders, and Elijah Wan now with 18 points in the ball game, 7 of 15 for the field.
Now that's how Hakeem started off the ball game, trying to get into the red paint. Productive by going.
Last meeting, January the 6th. In Cleveland. Here's a sampling of the spark provided by John Starks. The spark and the sound effects.
Only one man has taste the hardwood here at the Garden and wearing a Knicks uniform in recent years that behave like that. Mark Jackson.
Yes, a little release. Yes. I know you do it in the privacy of your home after telecast, John, so you can relate to that.
Yeah, very true.
Cavaliers 83 and the Knicks 66 as we open up the fourth quarter. Davis. That's a two-pointer, foot on the line. Knicks going with a three-guard offense right now. Davis, Starks, and Anthony. 83-68. It's down to 15. Cavaliers led by as many as 27. Brandon played by Anthony. Able to shake him off. Rebound Mason. Mason trying to go all the way and lost it.
You have to give another dimension of credit for the way they play in their transition defense. The Cavaliers getting back. Knicks trying to get fast breaks going, and they can't because the defense is back quickly. 2 men, 3 men back all the time for the Cavs.
Strong game for Terrell Brandon. He'll get a rest, sits down with 17, replaced by Steve Coulter, who is being double-teamed. Cage back to help, and again the Cavaliers have no difficulty with the trap. 1 minute gone by in the fourth quarter. Mills a tough matchup for Davis. As Starks lost his balance, went flying, and a foul is called. Now the foul on Starks.
John Starks trying to deal with Tony Campbell, playing him physically. Campbell with significant size advantage also in that matchup. And they're going at it again. Campbell trying to strike at Starks. Double team comes over to Campbell now. Ewing.
Shot clock down to 7. Mills. Oh, he forced and he hit. Chris Mills 6 of 9. He has 12 points, and the Cavaliers lead by 17.
They're putting the hands in the men with the height advantage. Cavs have bigger men than the Knicks do in certain matchups, and they're keeping the ball in their hands.
Traveling violation called on Ewing. Not put the ball on the floor as he started the back-end move. Mike Fratello continues to shuffle. Greg Dreiling returns. Now Coulter and Mills in the backcourt, and he has Mills handling the ball. Ferry up front with Cage and Dreiling. Steve Coulter for Danny Ferry. Played by Hubert Davis. Rebounded by Ewing. Mason pitching it out. Davis going to the drive and then threw it back. And Ewing changed his mind and threw it away.
People are passing up shots. Hubert Davis passed up a shot. Great success by the Cavaliers, shaking up the Knicks, dismantling them on offense.
This is what the Cavaliers were able to pull off against the New Jersey Nets on Saturday night. They took them right out of their game. Use the word dismantle. You could see the Nets taken out of their game because their shot selection has certainly been suspect, but this is unusual to watch the Knicks upset as they have been.
I must admit, Marv, I'm surprised that Derek Harper isn't on the floor now. This is not a role. I know with 4 fouls, but it's still 9 minutes to go. This is not a role that Greg Anthony shines in.
Gilbert Davis hits the three. And the Cavaliers lead 85-71. So the Knicks have been able to knock the lead once, 27 down to 14. And much time remaining. 8:45 to go in the fourth. Ferry met on a switch by Ewing. With the shot clock rolling down, Ferry had to pop it, and it's handled by Mason. Mason sets the screen. Davis, yes. That's a three for Hubert Davis. And suddenly it is an 11-point game. The Cavaliers call for time.
Bringing done. Mark Messier set to go. Take a look at the Messier line in Florida last night and tonight. Pretty good numbers for the #1 line.
And it's always tougher, I think, to get it done on the road because of matchups and such, yet they're getting it done. Here we go. Sorrella's ready, the Rangers, and the Panthers ready.
Skrudland, Lindsay, Hull, Sorrella, and Smith for Florida. Richter moves it around for Larmer. Larmer, Messier, and Graves. Leach and Boom for the Rangers. Jeff Smith lifts it ahead. Boom bats it out of the zone. Bill Lindsay there to play it. Brings it in. Fires wide. Good, quick snapshot by Bill Lindsay. Jody Hull is checked by Jeff Boom. Lindsay, one-time Quebec Nordique, is tied up by Steve Larmer. Graves takes the puck, lifts it clear. Sorrella going back to get it. Long pass for Lindsay. Zubov ties him up.
Romeo.
Now get 3.9%.
Knockdown combination of Mellenby and Sorrella. Back the other way, Rob Niedermeyer. In against Lowe. Gave it up to Noonan. Good back-checking job by Brian Noonan.
Good crisscross by the Panthers, but Noonan didn't fall for it. He picked his man up nicely, got the puck.
Niedermeyer brings it out by himself right now. Hooked by Nedved. Should have been a penalty.
I think it was embellished.
And a score on the backhander by Mellenby.
Hubert Davis jump shot. The Cavaliers now fighting the fatigue factor, perhaps. They played Saturday in New Jersey. They were home last night to Miami, and they lost. And tonight they're back here in New York.
And a foul. Charged to Mason. For the Knicks, their second team foul. Hubert Davis has hit on 3 of 3 from the field here in the fourth. 2 of those 3 shots, as you mentioned, from downtown. 8 points for Davis in the fourth. He has accounted for all the Knick points in the fourth quarter. Here's Brandon with a nice feed for Mills. And the Cavaliers lead 87-74. 8 minutes remaining in the fourth.
The Knicks have hit 12 of their last 14 shots.
They double up on Ewing. Davis for three. Rebound Mason. Won't count. Loose ball foul before the shot attempt. Don Dreiling.
What a terrific play by Mason. Hubert Davis on the long shot. Mason in position, but the foul was called.
It's called before the shot attempt. And a loose ball foul. The basket does not count. Ewing off the double team. And he drew the foul, so Patrick Ewing will shoot two. Foul on Dreiling. That is his fourth. Ewing 7 for 10 at the line.
Patrick Ewing demonstrating to the official how he's been getting pushed around pretty hard by Dreiling.
Ewing has hit his last 6 at the line. Went 1 for his first 4. Cleveland led by as many as 27. They were up 64-37 early in the third. Cavaliers now swinging to an 11-point lead. And again, Mills handles and then hands it off to Brandon. That has been the pattern. Mills waiting around the center court area for the outlet off the Knick trap or double team. Here's Mills for three. And a loose ball foul against the Cavaliers. Don Ferry. For Ferry, that is his fourth. Michael Cade checking back in. Rick Dreiling sitting down. He has 4 fouls. Rick Dreiling spent 7 years with Indiana, last year with Dallas, signed with Cleveland as a free agent.
He's 7-1, so he'll always have a job.
Smith. And a loose ball foul again against the Cavaliers. Don Ferry, that's number 5.
Patrick Ewing headed for Anthony Mason. I think that was his form of congratulations and appreciation for Mason's work in drawing the foul.
Anthony and Davis in the backcourt. Ewing, Smith, and Mason up front. Here is Davis. Oh! Rebound Mason. And a loose ball foul against the Knicks. It's on Mason this time. That's 3 on Mason.
What a glare he presents to an official when the call goes against him. Anthony Mason.
Off the steal, Mason will go to the line. So the Cavaliers are over the foul limit.
Great pressure by Mason, double teaming along with Greg Anthony, and he draws the foul.
Foul on Brandon, his first. And Mason is 2 of 3 at the line. What a difference off the boards in the first half. Cleveland had a 25-16 advantage here in the second half. The Knicks have out-rebounded the Cavaliers 14-3. It's down to a 9-point lead. 6:45 remaining in the fourth. Brandon calling out the play. 12-4 run by the Knicks. Ferry for 3. Williams keeps it alive. Brandon checking with the bench. Play being called out by Mike Fratello. They double up on Hot Rod Williams. Last touch it. Mason will sit down. Bonner returns.
A lot of pressure on the ball. John Williams with two people around him. Nice pressure executed by Hubert Davis, giving the Knicks the ball.
9-point Cleveland lead. Ewing. Anthony for three. Yes. Greg Anthony has been hitting the downtown shot. It's down to 6. 87, 81. This is about as active as we have seen Pat Riley. He wants this one bad. Last touch by Anthony. And we'll see Pat get involved from time to time, but he is really into it here.
He's working a sideline like Fratello has all game.
Well, remember the Cavaliers beat the Knicks here at the Garden early in the season in a come-from-behind effort. Brandon. Mills missed the tip. Here's Cage. Rebound Williams. He volleyballed it home to give the Cavaliers an 89-81 lead with 5 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Fourth quarter.
You just can't allow a team continual offensive rebounds like the Knicks just did.
Ewing got the step, and a foul is called against the Knicks. Offensive foul on Ewing. John Starks checking back in. Starks had the strong third quarter. Starks for Davis. Hubert Davis had the hot hand early on in this fourth quarter. Again, the trap. And Williams brings it across. Williams, Cage, and Ferry up front. Brandon and Mills in the backcourt. Brandon backing Anthony. Now Smith over to help. Here's Mills. Rebound Bonner. Competitive spirit here between these two coaches who are very good friends, but you know that Pat Riley does not want to see Mike Fratello make it 2 out of 3 on the season for the Cavaliers, in particular on his last touch by Cleveland. In particular, that this is a Cavalier team that is just decimated by injuries. Timeout taken by the Knicks. When we resume, it will be New York ball. They're down by 8.
Charles Minland, Zendon Hamilton, Felipe Lopez. Don't miss St. John's as they head south to battle Villanova Saturday night on MSG.
One-Tour Mitsubishi unleashes the power of the price wizard.
Your price is my command, and I'm granting powerful deals.
The 95 Galant ES at prices you've only dreamed of. 95 Eclipses at prices you won't find in Newsday. 95 Montero leasing at hundreds less. One-Tour Mitsubishi sells and leases more in 1 month than most dealers do all year.
One-Tour Mitsubishi. Put my power to work for you.
Come to where everything Jeep is in plentiful supply right here at East Hills Jeep Eagle in Roseland. Hi, I'm Bob Nystrom for my good friends at East Hills Jeep Eagle in Roseland. Whether you want to buy or lease the luxurious and practical Jeep Grand Cherokee or the sporty Jeep Wrangler, the car that legends are made of, you're certain to find the best deals anywhere right here at East Hills Jeep Eagle in Roseland. East Hills Jeep Eagle in Roseland. Big selection, low prices, and plenty of smiling faces.
It's the 21st anniversary of the Colgate Women's Games at Madison Square Garden. Catch the highlights in the exciting finals of this major track and field event here on MSG. New York City's best and foremost scholastic female athletes compete for the Jackie Joyner Kersey Trophy and more. See determination, commitment, and athletic excellence in action. It's the highlights from the Colgate Women's Games, the stepping stone for future Olympic hopefuls. Monday on MSG.
Bob Page with an update from Atlanta. B.J. Armstrong with a basketball off his missed Tyrone Corbin rebounds, but loses it to Corey Blunt, who goes in as the Chicago Bulls blowing the Hawks out late.
All right, Bob. Well, things have certainly picked up here in the second half. And the sideline theatrics have been intriguing. Pat Riley as active as we have seen him all season.
I think it's significant, too, Marv, that Pat's going with Greg Anthony as his point guard down the stretch of this game. That's a big change. I mean, Derek Harper has owned this position, but Greg's fine shooting and play of late has given him a very big role.
Here's Starks for three. And handled by Ferry.
The problem with that decision could be key decisions in penetration, which the Knicks might need badly in the next minutes.
And Michael Cage able to line drive it home. Anthony Bonner lost his balance and went down at the center court. That allowed the open shot by Cage. And Bonner comes back to the bench, hobbling. Timeout taken. We'll be right back.
From Paris to Moscow to Rome, Delta helps you get down to business in every corporate capital on the continent. And then we have just as many flights to bring you back to those more important meetings. Delta Airlines.
Tonight at 11:30, you can catch a replay of tonight's Rangers-Panthers game on Rangers Rewind, right here on the MSG Network.
Timeouts remaining. The Knicks with 2. Cleveland has 3 and a 20. 3:47 remaining in this fourth quarter, and it's the Cavaliers 91 and the Knicks 81. Derek Harper has checked back in. 3 guards for the Knicks. Harper with Davis and Starks. Ewing, yes. 31 for Ewing. 8-point Cleveland lead. Here's the trap on Brandon. And 10 on the 24.
Harper overplaying Brandon, not allowing him to get the ball.
Out of 4. Out of 2. Out of 1. 24-second violation. The basket will not count.
Isn't it amazing that he made the shot, though, under the pressure Mason was putting on him?
3 minutes, 11 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Cavaliers with only 8 points scored in this fourth quarter. The Knicks with 17. Mason backing Williams, using his strength. Off the fake, rejected by Hot Rod Williams. Mason on the recovery. Well, Brandon getting a little over-exuberant and warned by the official. A 20-second timeout called by Cleveland. Apparently, they were awarded possession. That ball scrambling around, and the 20 was recognized, which the Knicks did not believe. And Brandon was warned by the official Joe Forte to calm down. There's another look at it.
Brandon looked like a puppet on a string the way he was jumping up and down. Here's a Perry Ellis look at the Knicks' offensive attempts here now. Mason powering his way inside. Comes back to the left hand, which that shot gets rejected. Then Mason missing the shot. Brandon on the right as the Knicks and Cavaliers scramble for that basketball. The official finally blows that whistle, calming things down.
So the Cavaliers able to call for the 20 as they did have that brief possession. 2:45 to go in the fourth. It is Cleveland ball. They lead by 8, and they have it in their front court. should say happened in the backcourt. Mills inbounds.
Williams always a key part of breaking the press by his ability to handle the ball.
Cavaliers in no hurry to get the shot off. Do not want to rush it. Now they have to look for the shot. Now at 3. And again a 24-second violation.
Well, when Pat Riley reviews the tapes of this game and shows his team the pressure they put forth in the fourth quarter versus the first quarter, everyone will see quite a difference.
8-point Cavalier lead. 2:15 remaining in the fourth. Ewing down deep. It's down to 6. 91, 85 and a foul. A block on Mason. For the Knicks, their 4th team foul. So Cavaliers will inbound. They will not go to the line. Cleveland with 9 turnovers the first 3 quarters, a low number, but they have turned it over 5 times here in the fourth. We're just under 2 minutes to go. 91-85, a 27-point lead is down to 6.
You know the Cavs want to get a decent shot on this sequence and not get shut down again.
Brandon. Ewing handles. Here's Starks. Around Brandon. Wild shot by Starks. And last touch by the Cavaliers. Look out. Over at the bench, a collision. Michael Cage is all right. He went flying over the combination of Danny Ferry and Tyrone Hill.
Key decision, Marv, as you described, a wild shot. Big decision by John Starks, and it wasn't a good offensive move.
Starks trying to hit Ewing on an alley-oop. Ewing knocked it away. And Harper is fouled. Cavaliers over the limit, so that's the worst thing that could happen to Cleveland. The clock is stopped, and Harper to the line can cut it to a 4-point lead. What has happened to the Cavaliers, John, now they are usually very selective about their shots, try to use as much of the shot clock as possible, but they have been so overly concerned about holding the ball, along with the Knicks' defensive intensity, they have just been taken out of their game here in the fourth quarter. 91-86, Harper on the line for the first time.
You may be wondering why he looks different. As he checks out the camera and says hi. There is no mustache. That went away this weekend.
Minute 22 to go in the fourth. Clutch free throws by Derek Harper. And the Cavaliers take a timeout. 27-point lead is down to 4.
Today's 8 p.m. as Felipe the Providence Prize right here on the MSG Network. The action continues for the Knicks. Compliments of our Delta Airlines upcoming schedule. Thursday, the Sacramento Kings come into town for the first and only time this year. Knicks game night at 7 p.m. Sunday, Philadelphia 76ers with an early game, 5:30 Knicks game night. And Tuesday, the Knicks are down in Orlando on MSG2.
The timeout rundown, Cavaliers with 2, the Knicks with 2. Cavaliers are already over the limit. The next foul by the Knicks would put them over the limit. The Knicks have outscored Cleveland 21-8 in the fourth quarter. Early third, Cleveland led by 27. Mike Fratello checking the timeout situation. The Knicks turning it defensively, turning it off the boards, turning it up the foul line. They were 1 for their first 6 at the line. They've hit 18 of the last 20. Mills will inbound. Gets it into Williams. Guarded by Mason. Brandon protects against Harper. 15 on the 24. Out of 10 on the shot clock. Coulter. Williams with the shot. And a big one. The Cavaliers lead 93-87. Now to 1 minute remaining.
Williams did it to the Knicks in New York in their win here early this year with a big shot and similar timing.
19 for Hot Rod Williams. Starks backs to three-point territory. And Brandon comes up with it. 40 seconds to go. Six-point Cavalier lead and a foul. So Mills will go to the line. Foul on Ewing. That is his 5th.
Boy, when you see how the Cavs play without Mark Price, what a tribute to this team. Brandon doing a terrific job along with his teammates in handling the basketball.
Remember, Mark Price had the superb shooting game here at Madison Square Garden in that first meeting back on December the 22nd. Cavaliers 95 and the Knicks 87. The Knicks take a timeout with 32 and 3/10 seconds to go in the 4th.
Winter's here, and you're seeing a lot of four-wheel drive sport utility vehicles advertised. Of them all, the Suzuki Sidekick is the lowest priced four-door, only $15,179. Loaded with a 16-valve engine, anti-lock brakes, power steering, security alarm, AM/FM stereo cassette, tilt steering, and a side hinge spare-mounted tailgate. All standard. Suzuki Sidekick, the only four-door, four-wheel drive sport utility as low as $15,179. Don't let anyone snow you. For your nearest Suzuki dealer, call 1-800-447-4700.
My father started out to be a banker and ended up an innkeeper. I think people fantasize with travel. They envision going to exotic places. If you're going to be an innkeeper, you better make people comfortable and happy. Because we're a global company, we wanted a card that would give broad credit privileges throughout the world. And the American Express corporate card was the best for us to select.
The American Express corporate card is welcomed at lots of places that make you feel at home.
32 and 3/10 seconds remaining in the 4th. The Cleveland Cavaliers able to regroup. Big shot by John Hot Rod Williams. And they extend to the 95-87 lead. They led by as many as 27. The Knicks able to come within 6. And the Cleveland Cavaliers trying to make it 2 out of 3 this season over the Knicks. Will Murray either signing an autograph for a fan or writing a personal note to himself. Greg Gumbel on hand, checking it out at courtside.
Greg in the good seats. I said to Greg before the game, no matter what happens, Greg, you better stay to the end. It's too good a seat.
And I find people usually take your advice. Hubert Davis will throw in. And Harper stepped out. Looking for position. Stepped out of bounds. 30 seconds to go. Steve Coulter chased and fouled by Hubert Davis. Steve Coulter out of New Mexico State. He has played for Portland, Chicago, Philadelphia, Washington, Sacramento. His last year in the NBA was back in 90-91 with Sacramento. He's played CBA last year, played overseas, signed as a free agent by the Cavaliers. And apparently a technical foul has been called on Pat Riley. No, Jeff Van Gundy hit with a technical.
Pat was making a fuss to the official after the foul call was made. Jeff might have been more biting in his comments, perhaps.
Brandon not able to take advantage. That is the first ever technical foul on Knicks assistant coach Jeff Van Gundy. 10-point lead for the Cavaliers. Ewing from Harper. 35 for Ewing. 21 seconds to go. 8-point lead. Cage able to get down court. And the Cavs now lead 99-89. So the Cleveland Cavaliers come up with another remarkable victory, winning here at Madison Square Garden for the second time this season. Final seconds of the game. 99-91. 3 seconds to go. The Cleveland Cavaliers have had a delightful time in the New York metropolitan area the last few days. Came from 17 down to beat the Nets on Saturday night. They led by as many as 27 here. The Knicks did rally in the second half, but the Cavaliers hold on and win it 99-91 to make it 4 wins the last 5 games. The Knicks dropped to a record of 33-18. The Cavaliers are now 32-20. We'll be back with the wrap-up right after these messages.
They speak it in England, France, and Germany. It sounds...
Any price. Beechwood aged Budweiser.
It's always been true.
One engine was filled with Castrol Syntec.
The Cleveland Cavaliers, with many an injured player, beat the New York Knicks, holding on to do it. The final here at Madison Square Garden tonight, 99-91. The big question the Knicks have to ask themselves is why and how? How is it possible that this Cavaliers team could come into our building and be leading us by 27 points in the third quarter? Patrick Ewing and his teammates battled back to close it to within 4 with 2 minutes to go, but they just didn't have enough, and the Cavaliers just did have enough to win. But if you look at those pictures, you know that the Knicks did not win tonight's game. Pat Riley emotionally very into their second half comeback. And then you look at the other end of the story, and you saw Mike Fratello walk off the floor with not a smile and not a celebration. It was difficult to tell who won, but it was Mike Fratello's team, showing a tremendous amount of basketball fundamentalism and a tremendous amount of selflessness in beating this Knicks team tonight, in rallying behind the thought that they don't have Mark Price, and they didn't have Tyrone Hill, their all-star, and they didn't have Bobby Phills, and of course Gerald Wilkins and Brad Daugherty are long ago memories. So they beat the Knicks tonight by 8. Terrell Brandon is here at courtside. We'll be talking with him in a matter of moments, but first let's bring you up to date with the latest from Bob Page at the Sports Desk.
All right, Al, you're absolutely right. Give the Cleveland Cavaliers a lot of credit tonight. But in terms of the Knicks, you want to talk about unprofessionalism. This is the night Pat Riley should have chosen to use that word. And it'll be interesting to see if indeed he does say that in his remarks to the media following this game. Cavaliers coming in here missing 5 starters, what amounts to 5 starters. The Knicks not showing up to play. That's lack of professionalism. They cheated the fans at Madison Square Garden tonight. We've got highlights of the game, and believe me, most of them were Cleveland Cavaliers highlights. Mike Fratello, the Hackensack native, doing a terrific job with this team. And can you believe who was on fire in the first half? Danny Ferry. Bet you thought he might have gone to Portugal to play 2 or 3 years ago. One of the biggest busts in recent NBA history. Had 13 first-quarter points. More Ferry in the second quarter. He had 17 in the first half, 20 on the game. Cleveland led 33-22. Now Ewing stripped by Terrell Brandon. Going the other way, hot rod to Tony Campbell, who was banished from the Knicks by Riley. Charles Oakley watching helplessly as his hometown Cavaliers led 60-37 at halftime. Third quarter, Brandon to Chris Mills for the layup. Riley and the Knicks down 66-42 before they finally start to come back. It's Anthony Bonner feeding Patrick Ewing, who did show up to play tonight. Ewing terrific with 35 points. Cavs still led 83-66 going into the fourth quarter. When Hubert Davis started to heat up, he had 2 straight three-pointers. 85-74 is what the Cavs lead was down to. And then Patrick kicks it out to Greg Anthony for a triple. 87-81. Pat Riley trying to rally his troops back on the sideline, but the Cavaliers answered. It's Ferry to Michael Cage for the jumper. The lead back up to 10 at 91-81. And then Hot Rod Williams hits a jump shot, 93-87. He had 19 points. Riley and the Knicks basically were done at that point. The others in the NBA tonight look like this. Chicago won at Atlanta 105-88. As we commented before with the NBA trade deadline Thursday, this could be Scottie Pippen's final game as a Bull. You don't know. Dallas over Washington. Jim Jackson had a huge game. Also in the league this evening, San Antonio playing at Houston in the fourth quarter. Denver over the Clippers as they play in the second quarter. It's Boston playing at Phoenix also in the second quarter. Minnesota at Portland just getting underway out west as Long Island native Tom Gugliotta is making his debut. A couple other notes in the league. Ronnie Cycli placed on the injured list by Golden State. And Lloyd Daniels, the native New Yorker, is reportedly in Los Angeles. He is about to sign a free agent contract with the Los Angeles Lakers. In college basketball, Connecticut struggled early against Boston College, but came back to win handily at the Hartford Civic Center. The score was 88-75. Syracuse snapped its 3-game losing streak. They won in the Dome easily over Pittsburgh, 85-72. The Rangers in action at this hour over our MSG2 service. 10 seconds left in the game at Miami, and they have gone ahead of John Van Beesbrook and the Panthers by the score of 5-3. And the Major League Baseball talks resumed in Milwaukee today. They were still meeting at last word. No report of any progress, but none really is expected. More from us at 11 o'clock during Live from the Play-by-Play. We'll return to courtside right after these messages.
When you call collect, you're asking a favor.
Today's term is driving the lane. This is how I drive the lane and take it to the hole. And this is where I drive my van and take the whole family.
Stay on the move with a Sony cordless phone. And don't drive anywhere without a cellular phone from AT&T.
With over 50 stores in the tri-state area, you'll never be called for traveling. Nobody beats the Wiz.
Welcome back to Madison Square Garden, where the Cleveland Cavaliers have shocked the Knicks 99-91. Yes, there is no Mark Price and so many others, but when you don't have Mark Price, if you're Mike Fratello, you turn the reins of this team over to Terrell Brandon, and boy, did he resound with a huge effort tonight. Terrell Brandon finishing in the game with 17 points, 5 of 11 shooting, ran a great show, and he was one of the 40-minute men tonight. By the way, all the starters shooting and scoring in double figures. Terrell, congratulations on a very impressive game, because if you come into this game and you see who's not playing for Cleveland, you just about write the team off tonight.
No doubt about it. This is what our team's been about all whole year, and it was a great effort by our team. You know, we had that lead, and then at the end, we just tried to hold on. We knew that they were going to have a big spurt, but we were able to hit our free throws at the end and take care of the ball a little bit better. So it was a great win for us.
Well, with all the injuries, I'm sure you guys have found a way to turn that into positive energy. You know, instantly you're an underdog. But in your particular case, when Mark Price goes down, this is a great opportunity for you to get extended minutes and not prove to everyone that you can play. You've proven that, but in a different role.
Well, it is a different role. You know, I've been coming off the bench for 4 years now, and being behind All-Star Mark Price is not as bad as it may seem. But now I'm getting my opportunity. I can showcase exactly what I can do, and to be able to run the team and win ball games, it feels good.
And one of the things that Mark does is, as well as yourself, is pass the ball extremely well. But I would imagine that in your heart you want to continue that tradition of great passing from the point for the Cavaliers when you come in.
No doubt about it. That's my job as a point guard, to get the ball to the right people at the right time, and I've been doing that so far, and hopefully I can keep it up.
Let's talk about the flow of this game. You must be, even amongst yourselves, thinking we're up by 27 points. I mean, is there a point where you're saying this is unbelievable?
Well, yeah, but this is the NBA, and we understand what it represents and what it's all about. We knew that at halftime, you know, they weren't celebrating, but we knew that Pat Riley was going to have his guys real motivated and emotional about coming out of the second half. And they hit some big shots. John Starks and Hubert Davis come off the bench and hit some big shots for his team. But, you know, when Mark's a good team, and when a team makes a run, you're able to get together and not start pointing fingers at each other, but just collectively do it together.
And when you're on the road, it almost becomes like a steamroller. Crowds into it. The Knicks hit the big shot. Suddenly your lead is 4 points. How do you keep your optimism?
Well, it's difficult. But,
yeah.
We try to do it, you know. Being up 4 points is not all bad on the road and at the end. So we just try to collectively do it together, and at the end, just try to make our free throws.
Final thoughts on the influence of Mike Fratello in all of this and getting the team to believe in this selflessness and this togetherness that creates nights like this.
Well, I think he's done a great job this year with all the injuries, all the sickness, and everything else that we've been through. We've been able to hang together and still stay on top of the echelon of the conference. And by doing that, you have to have good coaching, and Mike's done a great job.
Well, Terrell, Knicks fans are disappointed, but if you're a basketball fan, there's a lot to admire about what your team did tonight. Congratulations, and thanks for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Terrell Brandon of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Lots more to come, of course, in our post-game coverage with Pat Riley's press conference and more, but let's officially wrap up our game coverage with Marv Albert. Marv?
All right, Al, so the Knicks, who had won 3 in a row, now dropped to a record of 33-18 of the Cavaliers, despite a host of injuries, making 4 wins the last 5 games. They are now 32-20 for the season. The Knicks playing Game 4 of the 5-game homestand on Thursday night here at Madison Square Garden, going against the Sacramento Kings, and we'll be on hand starting with Knicks game night at 7. The Knicks and Sacramento on Thursday. The Knicks post-game report is coming up. That will include, as always, the Pat Riley news conference. So stay tuned. Al will be back with that. Madison Square Garden announces clothing is provided by Perry Ellis Menswear. Marv Albert with John Andres saying so long from Madison Square Garden.
New York Knicks basketball has been brought to you by Ice Draft. Taste the future of draft beer. New ice brewed ice draft from Budweiser. By Old Spice high endurance deodorant and alcohol-free sensitive aftershave. By AT&T International Business Services. Let AT&T work for you. By the Discover Card. It pays to discover the card that pays you back. And by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
Knicks fans, the official yearbook of the 1994-95 New York Knicks is here. This 140-page edition gives you a close-up look at the entire team with full-color action photos, plus photos from last year's exciting charge to the NBA Finals. Even a special section commemorating the silver anniversary of the Knicks' first World Championship team. For your copy, send the $11 check or money order to Knicks Yearbook, 2 Penn Plaza, New York, New York, 10121. Attention, Debbie. Red Storm Alert. Take cover at Madison Square Garden. St. John's beats Providence Wednesday, February 22nd. Felipe Lopez and Charles Minlin lead the Red Storm against the Friars with new coach Pete Gillen and top scorer Eric Williams. St. John's faces Providence in an important Big East Conference battle. Get tickets now at the Garden box office or Ticketmaster. St. John's basketball is presented by Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield.
The New York Knicks postgame report is brought to you by Citibank. For banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps.
And so we begin on the Knicks postgame report, welcoming you back to Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks were down by 27 in the third quarter, staged a dramatic comeback that, unfortunately for them, was 8 points short. Cavaliers over the Knicks 99-91. Now, some might say, how do you figure it? How do you figure the Knicks could be this flat? Well, if you look at the last 3 marquee Sunday games the Knicks have played, Orlando, Phoenix, and tonight's game following Houston on Sunday, you'll see that in each case, the Knicks followed up those Sunday games with thuds of games in which they lost to Milwaukee, just barely beat a Golden State Warriors team who had nobody, and then lost tonight to Cleveland. Let's hear what Pat Riley had to say about it.
You know, it's obvious that we just got, we got so far down in the hole against a, a ball possession team that, You know, I've seen a lot of basketball, and I would have to say in the first half that is probably a perfect game as a team has played, you know, against us in a long time. I mean, as far as getting everything they wanted out of double teams, getting everything they wanted out of pick and rolls, getting everything they wanted out of, you know, the shooters making threes. And, you know, Danny Ferry gets an opportunity to start, gets 17 points in the first half. And so it was really, from the standpoint of executing our defense and rotating and covering quicker than we did, you know, really hurt us. You know, our blitz defense on pick and rolls was not real sharp, and it created the second pick and roll, which left openings. They were just superb, and we were just as bad as they were good. And, you know, obviously against this team, and, you know, unless you do something to speed the game up and take the ball out of their point guard's hands, which is what we did in the second half, you know, we would not have had a chance probably at all. But sometimes in losses you learn something against opponents, and, you know, maybe this is something, if there's any consolation to it all, is that you learn a little bit about how you can maybe take somebody out of what they like to do a lot. But it's just a tough loss for us.
Pat, when you were talking about focus the other day, is this exactly what you meant?
No, this was not. Our guys were ready to play, and, you know, we made a point to them about Cleveland. You know, last year they started out 7-14, and then they had one nightmare injury after another with Nance and with Doherty and with Price and with guys going out. And, you know, Mike turned that team around at 41-21 the second half of the season or something like that. But and they continue to get people hurt, and they continue to lose people, and it isn't as much how important it is for the players. I mean, they do miss Hill and they do miss Phils, but their system is so solid and so sound that they slot in people and they continue to execute. You know, one of the best executing teams in the league, and plus they control the tempo. So I think our guys came ready to play, but they were simply outplayed, you know, by a very good team, and played extremely well. And we made a great effort to get back in it, and we had a shot at it. You know, John had a shot at a three to get it to three, and, you know, there was a big play that you know, that Williams made at 91-87. He hit the jumper because we didn't close out strong enough on him. But the effort was there in the second half, you know, big time. We just didn't get over the hump.
I guess it has to bother a little bit more just because it was at home and you got to.
Yeah, you know, it is. You know, there are no gimmies, you know, in this league. At least there aren't for us. And you know, that's our, you know, I think our 7th loss at home. And you know, if we're going to stay ahead of teams, and if we're going to, you know, try to catch anybody, you just can't afford to take losses like this. But you got to give Cleveland a lot of credit. They played last night. They came in here, had a great game plan, and executed the hell out of it, and sort of withstood a furious rally on our part to get the W.
Did you think this team was past that type of first half, that type of first half wouldn't happen again for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think so from a standpoint. We just did not execute defensively. They were great. You know, I mean, until you really take a look at the film, you got to take a look at the effort and the execution on things that we wanted to do. And at the other end of the court, it was simply one double team after another, and we did not handle their defense with the kind of patience that we talked about this morning. You know, we just did not handle it well, and we did not get good shots. That got us further and further behind. So it was compounded at both ends of the court.
You seem to be handling this loss better than the...
No, you know, we came off, you know, we've had some tough losses. You know, I think this one probably stings more than any because it is at home, and it's frustrating. But you know, there isn't a guy in that locker room that doesn't feel the pain of that loss. So, you know, I think you can make your points as much as you want to, but it comes down to playing on the court.
The pain of the loss coupled with admiration of achievement for the Cavaliers. It all came your way in the Coaches Conference, brought to you by the New York Times. Pat Riley talking of many of the successful aspects of Cleveland's attack, among them Danny Ferry's 17-point first half. He finished with 20, all 5 starters hitting in double digits. Back in a moment.
The New York Knicks postgame report is brought to you by Citibank. For banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps.
including a loaded Villager for just $279 a month.
We're putting family values first.
That's just $279 a month for Villager, the minivan that drives like a car.
It's time to balance the budget.
See your Mercury dealer and let us prove it.
After March 6th, the President's Day sale is history.
Welcome back as we continue on the next post-game report tonight on MSG. It happened in front of the 106th consecutive sellout crowd. And the crowd got the most for their money in a fourth-quarter charge that seemed destined for a big Knick comeback, but it stalled at a 4-point margin for the Cleveland Cavaliers with 2 minutes left as the Cavs had just enough energy with the number of injured, depleted players that were left on the floor to pull this one out 99-91. Let's take a look at the leading scorer summary brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. Danny Ferry had 20 points, 17 of those in the first half to lead the way for the victorious Cavaliers. After that, Hot Rod Williams had 19 points, shooting 8 of 15. Terrell Brandon had 17 points, 5 assists. Chris Mills, 16 points. Michael Cage had 12 and 6 rebounds as the Cavaliers out-rebound the Knicks by 1. The story for the Knicks, and really lost in this game, was a 35-point effort tonight by Patrick Ewing. 13 of 17 from the floor, 9 rebounds, 35 the total. After that, it's below 20 for everyone else. John Starks had 15. Charles Smith had 12. After that, it is single digits for the rest of the Knicks, who struggled in the first half, down by 27, needed a comeback. They got it, but it stalled. Now, Sunday after the game, someone asked Patrick Ewing if it was sweet revenge to sweep Houston. He said, hey, they got the ring. Tonight, I doubt it mattered that he had 35 because his team lost. Gus Johnson was with him moments ago.
Okay. Well, Patrick, tonight it seems like it was a case of too little, too late.
Yeah, you know, we let them get out to such a big lead, and it was just a hard, climb back up. We just couldn't get over the hump.
And it also seemed like a situation where it wasn't as much as you guys played poorly as much as Cleveland played really well today, especially in the first half.
Well, you have to give them a lot of credit. They played extremely well, but then, we didn't step it up defensively the way that we needed to, or the way that we're capable.
Surprised that these guys were able to come out here and do what they've done, especially in lieu of all the injuries they have?
No, they've done it before. They've done it before, and a lot of years since I've been here. Just disappointed in the fact that, we let this one slip away.
And how about focus? Coach Riley talks about focus and winning the games that you're supposed to win. You think this is an example of that?
Well, we definitely need to win the games. As this was a game that we should have won, but we just didn't get it done.
Patrick, is there anything positive about coming back and trimming the lead 27?
I don't really see anything positive. The fact is that we lost the ball game.
Patrick, do you think it was just great offensive execution by the Cavaliers, or was it you guys?
I think, I think it was a combination of both. They did a very good job offensively, but then we didn't step it up defensively until, the second half.
Did they do anything to surprise you guys? I mean, with all the guys
No, we knew what they were going to do. We knew that, they were capable of beating us if we didn't, put forth the effort, but we just didn't get it done.
And Patrick, coming off the win against Houston, you think that contributed to the defensive letdown or just the mental letdown in general?
No, I don't think so. I just think we didn't get it done tonight.
That's MSG's Gus Johnson, of course, with Patrick Ewing moments ago in the Knicks locker room. So the Knicks, in Pat Riley's mind at least, knew that they had to think of trying to catch Orlando, yet still maintaining an active focus of staying with Indiana and Charlotte and Cleveland, the teams that are battling with them in the Eastern Conference. Well, they took a step backward in that regard tonight as the Cavaliers win by 8. A couple of mics when we come back. Fratello and Kay.
I really hate it when my CD player dies before the disc finishes. So I use Energizer AA lithium batteries from Nobody Beats the Wiz. They just keep on going.
Enter the home of Hassett and Wanto, the ultimate full-service automobile dealership, and discover what thousands of your Long Island neighbors already know, that you get something more with our low prices.
Not many to choose from tonight, but here is the ice draft dunk of the game. It comes on an assist from Anthony Bonner as he finds Patrick Ewing for 2 of his 35. Well, Mike Fratello has certainly done a tremendous job with this Cleveland Cavaliers team. They now have just one less win than the New York Knicks of this entire season. Michael Kay was in the locker room area just moments ago talking to Mike Fratello on a night when he didn't have Tyrone Hill and Bobby Phills and Mark Price and just about everybody, yet they win the game anyway. Here's what they talked about.
Mike, how exhilarating is this for you to come into the Garden with so many people hurt and beat the Knicks?
Well, we realize that it's a long season, and this is a game that when you take it just for the moment, you may say, well, you know, it's a special win, but it is one win during that 82-game schedule, and we lost one last night that we really thought we could get. And sometimes it just balances it out. You look at tonight and you say, here's one that we got, that most times you'd say, maybe we're going to have a problem. Last night, we didn't get one that we thought we should get at home in our building. So that's the way the NBA schedule balances out. I think you need to keep it in perspective.
Now, Pat Riley just said that that first half by the Cavaliers was as well as any team can play. Did you see it that way?
Yeah, I think Pat is right on the money. They did what they had to do defensively to stop us. We made the pass against their defense. We made the next pass against their rotations. And then a guy is standing there, and if he doesn't make the shot, they get the rebound, they go down the floor. Instead, we were knocking them out. We shot over 50% in the first half. And when you're shooting from behind the three-point line the way we were, it stretches the defense out and it puts tremendous pressure on them. If you shoot the ball that well, I don't care what team it is, you're going to win a lot of games.
Final thing, does the resiliency of this team even amaze you sometimes?
They're an incredible group. They just don't go away, and they keep trying to find a way to survive and make things happen. And that's what I think they thrive on, the fact that they are a very close group, and they enjoy playing with each other.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
And in that mindset of Mike Fratello thinking that this is just one of those nights where the schedule evens out. No celebration because he knows the schedule may bite him the next game. Well, that was Mike Fratello postgame minutes ago with Michael Kay, who joins us now. And really, this is the matter-of-fact attitude that I think you must have to get through an 82-game season, especially when you've got to deal with all these injuries.
Absolutely. And the interesting part is you see Fratello walking off, no celebration, and I was standing in the runway over there, no screaming, no high-fiving. And then he said before we had the camera on him that when he went into the locker room, the players are just so exhausted. They really have to put forth every bit of effort they can to win, so short-handed. There's no celebrating. They really don't have the strength.
Yeah, with really only 2 players on the bench. I thought that was going to be the final thing that bit the Cavaliers late in the fourth quarter, but that's what heart does for you. Now, that's why we have Michael Kay. This is the following illustration. I talked to Terrell Brandon for 5 minutes. He goes in there 1 minute, gets the quote that I failed to get. What was the quote?
Terrell just said
this is the magic of Michael Kay, by the way.
Nice tan, by the way. What he said was, when you win a game like this against the Knicks on the floor in New York, you really prove that you're for real. He said, tonight we proved that we're for real. And, you know, you really do have to open up some eyes because they're coming off a loss against the Miami Heat, a demoralizing loss for them. You know, they could pretty much pack it in 2 games in 2 nights, and especially against the Knicks, and they didn't. They came out and played the perfect first half. And Fratello and some of the other players said when we're hitting outside shots like that, moving the ball so well, getting into our offense with only about 10, 12 seconds left on the clock, and then you bury the J, it really demoralizes the Knicks defense. He said the Knicks didn't play that poorly. It's just that we played so very well. Somebody then asked Chris Mills, would you like another quarter in that game? And he laughed. He goes, well, ask the Knicks if they'd like another quarter in the first half. So, yeah, it was a great fourth quarter, and it was a great first half for the Cavaliers.
You know, nothing to be surprised about in this effort tonight if you're a Knicks fan, because you've seen in the past couple of years that big injuries really turn teams around emotionally. They love to fight back in that underdog mentality. Did you get a sense of that in the locker room?
I think they were real proud of themselves. Hot Rod Williams said it's the sort of mindset right now where we say somebody's got to step up and do it for us big time to make up for the injured players. And tonight it was Danny Ferry. Mike Fratello was giving a lot of the credit to Hot Rod Williams, but a lot of the players said Ferry played a very large role.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
Thank you,
Danny
Al.
Ferry, by the way, once again with 20 points tonight. That's Michael Kay's report from the victorious locker room of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Leading by as much as 27, they hang on and take it by 8. Thursday, the Knicks will go at it again and try to rebound from tonight's loss. They'll take on the surprising Sacramento Kings. Game night begins our coverage here on MSG at 6.
From North Carolina, number 45, Michael Jordan. Jordan still looking for his first field goal. And
I'm not here to give you a second-rate, cameo appearance. I came back here to do the job, the top job that I always have done.
Rarely is a sporting event so eagerly anticipated, but then again, you don't see something like this every night, folks. Michael Jordan makes his first appearance in front of the home folks since returning to the NBA tonight here at the United Center. And folks, Chicago is ready. 24,000 plus tickets have been sold. If you can't get a seat, maybe you can stand. 750 standing room only tickets have been sold. Not the greatest seat in the house, but folks, for this night, anything will do. Even the folks at Michael Jordan's restaurant have been pumped up over this all week, discussing Michael's return over Michael's favorite macaroni and cheese, no doubt. They're pumped up and ready to go at Michael Jordan's restaurant. But this is the sight, all the eyes of the NBA on the United Center as Michael Jordan returns in front of the home folks here at the United Center. Good evening, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson, and I don't even know how you can begin to describe the feeling in this city this week. I mean, you could have Elvis coming back to open up for the Beatles reunion concert with Mike Tyson fighting on the same card, and folks, it couldn't match what Michael Jordan has done to this city, the grip he has on the sporting community here in Chicago, Illinois. It is absolutely amazing. We'll have it all covered here in the next half hour. They tip it off at about 8:40 tonight. I should remind you, if you were looking in your TV guide and you checked out TNT, 8 o'clock Eastern, Kingfish, we are going to show you Kingfish, the TNT original production starring John Goodman, but it's after the game. So first we'll show you the King, and then we'll show you Kingfish. We have got you covered here tonight. Not just me. Craig Sager's been on top of the Michael Jordan story since day one. Let's check in courtside right now with Segs.
Well, Ernie, no one since Mrs. O'Leary's cow has set the city of Chicago afire like Michael Jordan. Banners along LaSalle Street tonight celebrate the reincarnation of his basketball career. If T-shirts were ballots, not only would he be holding center court here at the United Center, but he'd be presiding as mayor of the Windy City. I was with him this afternoon to a private shoot-around, and also as he entered the arena tonight. And yes, even the great one gets nervous. We'll have an interview with Michael Jordan in a few moments, but now let's go to Nicole Watson.
Well, thank you, Craig. As of next Sunday, the Orlando Magic will have played 4 games, and even by NBA standards, that's a grueling schedule. That also includes the Phoenix Suns. Now, Coach Brian Hill says that he will not buy into the hype, that he hasn't even mentioned those 2 bad words, Michael Jordan. As far as Penny Hardaway, he was even questionable up to the start of this game. He dislocated the index finger of his left hand. It is very swollen, but here in Chicago, the only doctor makes the special elastic splint, and he'll have it on tonight. He will play. As far as Shaquille, well, he says, what is everyone going so crazy about? Don't believe the hype. He says for him, it's business as usual. The only new thing is that he's got a new hairdo. He's bald now, just like Michael Jordan.
Yeah, thanks, Nicole. Don't believe the hype. I say don't believe Shaq. This is not your normal everyday game. This place is packed, and I think everybody's really waiting for the moment a little after 8:30 when the starting lineups are introduced, and the first words, I guess, when Michael comes out, 6'6" guard from North Carolina. This place is going to be bedlam. Doug Collins joins me. Doug, you coached this guy, Michael Jordan. You watched him lead the Bulls to 3 titles, and you've watched him in 2 games back. What sticks out?
Well, Ernie, I think the interesting thing to me is in that game against Indiana when he started out, the energy, the hype, I can't imagine how he was feeling and what he was like to get himself prepared to play that game. We'll take a look and see a couple plays that I thought really stood out in that game. He was put in a position early to beat the shot clock. And you're going to see right here, the ball's going to come to him, something Michael has always done great. And he has to force his shot up, and you can see how flat the shot is there. He really wasn't prepared to take that shot. And now you're going to see him on one of his patented drives, and he really doesn't finish strongly. So the 2 things there that stood out in that first game was he didn't have the game legs with his shot or his ability to finish.
19 points on the night in his debut, 7 for 28 from the field, very un-Jordan-like, but I think nobody really expected him to go gangbusters the first time out. Second game against Boston, more like Mike, because he was above 50% shooting, better than that, 27 points to lead everybody. This was more of an MJ performance.
Well, I think the real key was it was a more relaxed environment for him, too. There wasn't quite as much hype, and he got himself into a good rhythm early. They went right into the post with him, something that he loves to do. It's his patented move, his little fall-away jump shot, and you're going to see he gets his legs underneath him. He gets really good balance. You're going to see nice lift on the shot. More importantly, look at the trajectory and the arch on the shot, the good rhythm. He buries it. Then he comes, you see the nice elevation on the shot, the good rotation. Both of those were the kind of shots that we've seen Michael Jordan make through the previous 9 years of his career.
Bill Jackson has pointed out, of course, it's going to take time to gel and to get to know these guys. It's not the same unit that Michael was here with when they won titles, but he certainly showed indications in the Boston game, I think, of knowing where his teammates were going to be. They knew where he was going to be, and he was having fun.
Well, I think the passion and the love for the game comes out in Michael once he starts getting the feel of the game. And you could see he and Scottie Pippen really had some fun on this one play in Boston Garden. They ran a little give and go, and Michael palms the ball, and he's going to sort of show it to Scottie, take it away, fakes it. The defender turns his back, and he lays it over to Scottie. Scottie lays it in. Michael backpedals. He has that little smirk on his face, and he's saying, you know what, I'm doing what I do best. I play basketball.
That was vintage MJ. You know, this city, folks, is just overcome with Jordan mania, and Michael has become part of the fabric of this city. We have something very special to show you here. Tommy McCracken and the Force of Habit Blues Band kind of showing that this city is beating as one, the heart of the city beating as one, but maybe beating as 45.
Welcome back to Chicago, sweet home Chicago, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. 1, 2, 3.
One guy, I mean, he's more popular than the President of the United States, so I'll tell you, Michael can turn any city around. He can turn the world around.
It's sort of like finding that Beethoven, after writing 5 symphonies, is coming back to possibly write 6, 7, 8, and 9.
It's magical in town when he plays. Streisand comes to sing after a 20-year retirement. Wherever she plays, big night, right? Big night in Chicago when Michael plays.
Chicago is the place to be today. The town is crazy. His airness is back.
Italian-American dinner last night, and that's all people were talking about, in Italian. You go to a Polish community where they have their newspaper in Polish and don't speak English. There's a Michael Jordan headline, which is the only part I could decipher. This is the most diverse city in America, I think, but in any language, Michael Jordan is, you know, a god.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go?
They say it's got to be the shoes. Our thanks to Tommy McCracken and the band. You live in Chicago. Doug, have you ever seen it like this for any reason?
You know, Ernie, I was just looking around here at this arena and the feeling. I've been in professional sports for 23 years, and it's almost sort of scary that a man with the ability to play basketball has not only this city, but the world really in the palm of his hand. That's sort of frightening.
It's going to be a grand night here at the United Center. One guy who wishes he could be here, a Chicago native, Isaiah Thomas. We'll be talking to him next. Star-studded evening. There is Spike Lee. Keep it here, folks. House here at the United Center. You know, Isaiah Thomas grew up in Chicago. He'd love to be here tonight, but duty calls. He's now with the Toronto Raptors, the expansion franchise, and he is scouting collegiate talent at the NCAA tournament tonight. But we were able to hook up with him a little bit ago and get his thoughts on Michael's return. Here's Zeke. Isaiah, I assume that on TV you have watched Michael Jordan in his return to the NBA now. How would you sum up what you've seen so far?
Excellent. The other night in Boston, he had that 50 look on his face, and if he hadn't gotten foul trouble, he probably would have gone for 50. He's remarkable, and the way he's come back, I think it's very exciting for basketball. It's very exciting for me now that I get to watch him as a fan and don't have to compete against him anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say, is your outlook a little different because now you're an executive in this league with Toronto, and you got to be liking the fact that, hey, fans, Michael Jordan next season coming up to play the Raptors. You thinking about that yet?
Oh, without question. We've already made plans that we're going to take. We play in the Sky Dome, and we're going to take the floor and set it right in the middle of the Sky Dome so we can have 60, 70,000 people watching us play basketball. I think it's going to be great. He's the greatest show on earth right now. He's what Muhammad Ali was to boxing. He has that type of persona. He has that type of aura. You know, it's fantastic, and it's very exciting to be in the NBA at this time.
Do you agree with the theory now that Chicago is immediately a contender for the crown because Michael is here, or is that asking too much?
I think, you know, the perception that he's what's the word I'm looking for? He will be the catalyst to more or less propel them to get to the stages of the NBA Finals. I think he's definitely gives their team a new rise, a new energy level that you've seen them play with in the last couple of days. You know, he's tough to guard. He brings an aura and a persona, and just his presence alone out on the basketball court is worth, you know, 20 to 30 points a night from a defensive and an offensive standpoint, because he makes people miss shots, he causes such havoc, and then he makes a couple of shots himself.
Quickly, what's he going to go for tonight against the Magic?
I think it's a 50 night.
Man.
I think it's a 50 night, and because the way, you know, he likes to do things in a grandiose style, coming back to the stadium, the energy that will be in that building that they haven't been able to transplant from the old Chicago stadium, I think will be in a new stadium. And if he gets to rolling and hits his first couple of shots, I think the momentum that he'll bring will propel him to a 50 night. And by Orlando being on a back-to-back night, I think it could be the potential for a blowout.
It's in the books, Zeke. I appreciate it. I say what now?
I just wish I could be there to see it as opposed to having to go scout the college game.
Well, I tell you, your hometown is a buzz. I'll tell you that right now. Zeke, good to talk to you. Good luck, all right?
Thanks.
All right, will he go off for 50? Who knows? There are 24,000 and change here, hoping that he does. Michael Jordan yet to make an appearance on the court, and the fans here are standing wherever you look, just waiting to get a glimpse of Michael Jordan. Almost lost in all the hoopla, the fact that the team with the best record in the NBA is here, the Orlando Magic, with their 50 wins, in town with Shaq and with Penny Hardaway and the rest. Let's go down on more on that on the Magic with Nicole Watson.
Well, thanks, Ernie. Earlier in the season, there was so much hype about an Orlando Phoenix Suns final. But, you know, the Phoenix Suns didn't want to buy into that necessarily. They took the hype off of them. The Orlando Magic said to that, listen, we've got the best record in the league. We don't care if the Bulls are around. You have to respect us.
He's the player that we all idolize, even though we won't say it, you know, publicly. But he's the guy that we all, you know, strive to be like, in a sense. Not totally, but in some aspect of his life and in the way he plays on the court.
Can you have a handful of guys in the league that as soon as they touch the ball in the open court, you have a feeling something good's going to happen. And with Michael, it's both ends of the floor.
He makes me better, you know, just by watching his moves and the things that he does out there on the court, offensively and defensively. And when you play against the best, then you can use him as a measuring stick to see how good you are. So when I play against him, I'm definitely going to give him my all and see what I can do against the best.
We have to contend with Michael, but Michael has to contend with our team also, a team that he hasn't faced really in the last 2 years. So it's going to be a great challenge. It should be a great basketball game, and I think we just have to treat him with the same respect that we would treat any great player, but at the same time go out and compete at the highest level that you possibly can.
There you see the Chicago Bulls, some of them leaving the locker room. Ron Harper there, Larry Kristoviak. Michael will make his appearance soon. We'll be back with more after this. We're all over this thing, and as soon as he takes the court, you will hear a roar from this place that will not be equaled until at least the starting lineups are announced a few minutes after that. We are live at the United Center for Michael Jordan's first game with the Bulls since his return, his first game here in Chicago. And the city is just up for grabs here at the United Center. While we wait for Michael to take the floor, let's introduce Warren Moon. Here's Michael. Before we get to Warren, here's Warren, who is, of course, the quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings and, of course, a huge NBA junkie from early on. And, Warren, we want to talk about what this night is going to be like as far as handling pressure as we watch Michael Jordan and the Bulls take the court. Listen up. Here comes MJ. Well, I guess that will officially go down as the first bucket made by Michael Jordan in the layup drill, and a huge roar went up from the folks here at the United Center. All right, Warren Moon, the newest member of the Turner Sports family. That is out of the way now. How will a guy like Michael Jordan handle a night like this, the pressure of the entire city, and just of the moment on him?
Well, I'm sure this is a night he's thought about for a long time, and he made a lot of decisions before he came back. He's back now. The people are excited about it. I've never been around a frenzy like this before in sports. I've been around a lot of big sporting events, Super Bowls, NBA championships. This is some type of electric feeling here in this building tonight.
What would be the key to getting through a night like this and playing as well as you're capable of playing?
But I think it starts from the time you get up. You want to try and go through a day like you regularly would for any other regular season game, knowing that the hype of the game is going to get you up and prepared for the game, and the fact that you're returning home for the first time. So you want to be as normal as possible throughout the day, and I think he's done